well timed. Okay. That was perfect.
Jen, are you introducing us?
Oh, yes. Hi. Yes. Just a second. We're here with one of our regular one-shots, and Matthew is running it, and we're doing it in Burning Wheel, and yay! Thank you, everybody, for being here. And just to talk very briefly about our sponsors, we are sponsored by Skull Splitter Dice, which are super cool, like really heavy metal dice. And for me, like once I started rolling metal dice, they're just so nice and chunky and big. I didn't really want to roll anything else. So Skull Splitter Dice are awesome. And Found Familiar Coffee, which they have like all of these really cool different flavors with different D&D themes and like cool drawings. And I don't drink coffee, but from what I've heard, they're super freaking delicious.
It's really delicious.
Yeah, I hear such awesome things about it.
And they are wonderful people.
This is true. This is definitely true. Like just such warm-hearted people. Really good supporters of the community and supporters of us. And just to give you a sense of what is on our channel at other times, and I have a horrible memory, so I'm going to have to actually look at my list, even though I'm involved in a bunch of it. This Monday, we have another one-shot, so we don't usually have two this close, but it's really cool because this Monday we have another one called Guns of Santa Terina, and the developer of the system is actually going to play with us. That's going to be really cool. And I'm going to be doing my Appalachian accent that I've never done an accent before while I roleplayed. So come and watch me make a fool out of myself, in addition to watching a really cool game with really cool system and really cool people. And then on Tuesday, The Gods We Know returns after our 1 week hiatus to play space games with Cam. And we'll pick up from the horrible cliffhanger that we got left with for 2 weeks. And
that was super stressful, guys.
Oh my God. Right. Oh my God. So stressful. Oh. Seriously. Oh God. And Wednesday we have Dead and Thay. I've heard that's like a high likelihood of people dying game. So if you like to see people dying, go watch that. And then Curse of Strahd is every other Sunday, but it's not this Sunday, unfortunately. It's next Sunday. So the 15th is when Curse of Strahd comes back. So really fun stuff. Big variety of stuff to watch. Like we're going from the Wild West to like Dungeon Meat Grinder. So very cool. And that's our stuff. So I did an intro. Yay! Intro's done.
Excellent.
I'm not anymore.
No, that would be me now. Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew. I'm going to be your game master for the day. Stream, we're going to be playing a game called Burning Wheel. If you've never played Burning Wheel before, don't worry. This is all about learning the game. Most people here haven't played Burning Wheel before. In fact, I think only me and I think one other person, I believe, have played it before. Excellent. There we are. So, we're all going to be learning things together. We'll be making some mistakes as we go, and that's part of the deal. Burning Wheel is a game that's about fighting for what you believe in. In fact, your character's most important things are their beliefs. And the way the game is set up, your character will believe in things, and then they will fight to accomplish those things. And if they succeed, they will be rewarded mechanically in system and in-game as well. From that perspective, I want to start with a quick rundown of who our characters are, and we're going to start with having everyone read their beliefs, instincts, and traits. These are, again, mechanical things that your character has. So let's start with the Innkeeper. What is your name, Innkeeper? Before I forget.
Fantastic. Devin. Devin the Innkeeper.
Hello, Devin the Innkeeper. And Devin, what are your beliefs?
My belief is that if I do not act soon, the plague will take my spouse, and I must find a way to cure them of their illness.
Wonderful.
My spouse is.
Do you have another belief?
I find a cure. No one knows that they're ill, and a reputation for having caught the plague is bad for my business.
Excellent. Yeah. So you have a spouse that is sick with the plague, and you don't want anyone to know that they are sick with the plague. And so if people find out that they are sick with the plague, you will have failed in your belief. You also want to cure your spouse if possible. So you're looking for a way to do that. I wonder if one will fall into the laps of everyone here, and that will be a source of conflict for everyone here. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out shortly when we get there. And while we're at it, so those are your beliefs. Those are, again, mechanically things that you are rewarded for accomplishing in play. So they tell you a lot about your character and what your goals are. Again, in a longer form game, you would be writing these beliefs yourself. So the game is sort of based on the idea that you create ideas about how you want to affect the world and then are rewarded for doing so. Admittedly, this is a one-shot, so you can get to write your beliefs. I wrote your beliefs. Why don't you tell me about your instincts?
I have 3 instincts. So, I always lock doors behind me. I never leave the common room unattended, and I must always know where my beloved is.
Absolutely. So instincts are things that you get to write again for yourself, although they, again, did not write them because this is a one-shot again. But they are things that have sort of twofold functions. They're habits that always happen. But they're also things that can get you in a little bit of trouble sometimes. Sometimes you won't leave the common room unattended, but who will you leave it with? And that'll bother you or cause problems. You can always break an instinct, but the rule of thumb is that if it doesn't come up, then I have to assume that you accomplished that, right? So if you had an instinct that said, when there is danger, draw my sword, then I, as the GM, cannot say, oh, you didn't draw your sword, right? When there's danger. No, you have an instinct about that. And again, instincts, you will be rewarded for them if they cause difficulty for you. So you kind of want to look for ways that they should both save you sometimes and cause difficulty for you other times. Does that make sense? Great. And Devin the Innkeeper, let's do your traits last of all.
Wonderful. I've got 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, a fixed smile, exasperated, superstitious, and dutiful.
Excellent. All of these are what we call character traits. Character traits are traits that help you determine who you are as a character. These are things that are true of you. And we sort of think of them as being like almost exemplified within you, right? Anyone can be fat, but if you have the trait fat, then people think of you as fat. You're Falstaff, right? If you have a fixed smile, then you permanently have this sort of fake plastered smile upon your face. That's sort of how we think about you. Again, traits are there. I should say, when you're building characters in Burning Wheel, you pay the same cost for positive character traits and negative character traits. It is not one or the other, because negative character traits are easier to earn rewards off of, because again, anything that complicates or makes the story more interesting is something that you're going to get rewarded for. Do you have questions about any of your 4 traits?
No, they seem pretty straightforward, to be fair.
Great. I'm going to just add or clarify one thing that came up in another time I ran this one-shot. You are superstitious. That means that you absolutely believe in witches and witchcraft, just for the sake of it, because that may or may not come up in today's adventure. I don't know. Let's jump over to the scholar. Your name is
Archibald Le Gall.
Hello, Archibald Le Gall.
Why, hello there.
Excellent. You want to read me your beliefs?
My beliefs, my treatise on the supernatural and witchcraft was brilliant. I will prove that such forces exist and return to prominence in the academic community.
Excellent. And your other belief?
Those that speak without thinking are fools who should be corrected. Nothing silences the voices of ignorance so thoroughly as evidence.
Excellent. So you can see sort of already that your character is pompous? Pompous. Yes, there we go. That looks like the direction you're heading with it. I'm excited to see it. Let's hear your instincts.
Always correct the misconceptions of common men. And when tensions rise, be a fly on the wall. And finally, always buy a drink for someone willing to learn from me.
That's great. And your traits.
I have been blessed with many traits. Cramped hands, a rabble-rouser, a know-it-all. I am bitter. I am pariah. I am prone to exaggeration, as if. And finally, a bookworm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, so those are, again, I think those are all character traits. I'd have to double check on bookworm. I think bookworm is a research trait that gives you an extra die on research checks, but that probably won't come up today. But it still is something that is part of your character, so we leave it there no matter what. So I don't know. I think that there's some interesting conflict here inside of your character already, right? You are a rabble-rouser and a know-it-all, but when tensions rise, you want to be a fly on the wall. That's already like an interesting little contradiction there. We'll see how that plays out in your character. Next up, I think we have the Bastard.
The Bastard remembered to unmute himself. Yay!
A victory, I'll take it.
Definitely. All right. Starting with beliefs.
Yes, Edmund, the Bastard.
Okay. I will prove the innocence of my betrothed sister because I care so much about, not actually because I care, only because then I can secure my place among the nobility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little all about me. My privileges in the fortune's past can only remain as long as the secret of my father's madness is kept. So any who imply his misfortunes must be silenced. My instincts always speak with my father's authority, which I do anyway, just naturally. Never reduce myself to physical labor, of course. And when asked directly of a secret, make a joke and find another topic to speak of, which is, I find, a very, very good strategy to get people to not notice that you're trying to avoid something.
Mm-hmm. And what are your traits there?
All right. In fact, red cheeks. I always have red cheeks, which is weird because I, Jen, also always have red cheeks. Yes. And okay, so let me explain this next one. Nobody ever taught me how to do anything, so I'm kind of good for nothing. But it's not my fault. It's because nobody taught me how to do anything, and it sort of hurts my feelings when you point it out to me. And I have a sense of entitlement because I'm entitled to things, so I have a sense of that.
And then you should have 2 more.
Oh, I do? Oh, no, it just says add.
Oh, interesting. Well, it should say mark of privilege.
Oh, that's under die traits. I thought that was different. Sorry.
It is mildly different, but not different enough for us to ignore it here.
Okay, so yeah, mark of privilege. And I guess that just means that people can tell that I'm important and special. Yeah, and I'm a bastard. Yes. Yeah, that's.
We mean that in the literal sense here. You are the
probably
son,
also in the metaphorical.
Yes, that is also possibly true.
Probably both.
You are the child of someone important. In this case, did I make you a child of a duke?
My father, who is
whatever. He's the Duke of Fortune's Past now. I just made him the Duke. I don't remember.
Okay, I'm the son of the Duke.
Yes. So you're the son of the Duke, and but you're also the illegitimate son of the Duke. So we can see from your beliefs that you have very explicit goals, right? Your beloved sister may be accused of something. I don't know. Witchcraft, maybe? I don't know. I haven't said that yet. That hasn't been clarified yet in game. We'll find out. Your beloved sister may be accused of something, and it is vital to you that this not get out to the world, because your beloved, whether you like her or not is a different question, but your beloved is heir to a rather substantive fortune, and with a wedding to them, you can quasi-legitimize yourself. We'd see that more in a longer game, but again, short thing. And then apparently your father's going crazy. You don't want people to know about that. You don't want anyone to know about that. And you know who you really, really, really don't want to know about that?
My betrothed?
Nope. Oh. The minstrel. You really don't want Theo the minstrel to find out about that, because Theo the minstrel is going to tell that to everyone. So Theo the minstrel, let's talk about your beliefs.
Well, so as Theo the minstrel, my beliefs: great stories come from great events witnessed by great artists. If no great events will come to me, then I must make them. You
are going to cause me some trouble, aren't you? You said that with such glee.
Many people come through the inn with secrets. I will uncover all the secrets. I can turn all the secrets I can and turn them into great tales.
Yep,
so
that sounds good.
I'm enjoying this already. Instincts. When something is happening, dig for the details, find the motivations. That is the real story. Always try to dig a tale out of every traveler, and then when the room gets heated, I slip out quietly.
We've got a couple of rap people who like to start trouble and then disappear. Let's hear about those traits.
Traits. Colorful. Don't imagine me right now in all my gray. But
imagine my room behind you.
Right. Imagine a true minstrel in, nicer wares than what I'm wearing. Esoteric, recondite. I believe that I said that right. Bored. Because, I don't have any good tales right now and I need to find them, so I'm a little bored here. And ambitious, because I want to be the greatest minstrel alive. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
There we go. I like it. So I'm starting everyone with 3 fate and 2 persona. I'm going to go over the quick mechanics now. I'm mostly going over this for chat. We already talked about it a little before, but just for a point of quick clarity. Burning Wheel is a D6 based game. You have a stat. Your stat has a number next to it. When you are asked to roll that stat, you roll that number of dice. 4, 5s, and 6s are successes. 1, 2s, and 3s are failures. If you'll have a difficulty, you have to roll more successes than the difficulty, you have to meet or beat the obstacle level, is what it's called. And that's basically the core mechanic. If you roll a 6, you can spend a fate point to re-roll that 6. It actually makes all your 6s in a die roll explode. And if you are nervous that you're not going to succeed, you can spend a persona point to add another die to a roll and sort of expand it that way. And that's sort of the basic core mechanic. We'll talk a little bit about forking as that starts to happen pretty quickly. Yes, I said forking. No, this is not the good place. I just literally said forking. Excellent. So, there we are. Anyone playing have any questions?
I'm
not
ready.
looking at chat, so. Excellent. Fortune's Pass is a sleepy way station, kind of quiet. Last small village before you get to sort of the ducal court, which is a little ways away. There's an inn there and stables and places to stay. And the inn is sort of a gathering place for the people around there, maybe 150 families in the area, but they come through there from time to time. Lately, things have not been going super well for anyone. There's been signs of a plague. People are appearing with pock marks upon their flesh and dying in this contagious and horrendous disease. And the Duke, who's been a generally benevolent and good Duke for most of his life, or at least as good as a noble as the commoners ever, has started doing weird things, calling requests for insane things to show up and just like randomly demanding that every commoner just give 3 locks of hair from their second child. Weird things like that. And it's been a little disturbing. Winter has fallen upon the sleepy town. And one day the Duke, to deal with the plague, had called for an inquisition. And inquisitors have started wandering around and doing investigations and all sorts of scary things like that, knocking on people's houses. They have sort of limitless authority, and they sort of throw their weight around, hurting people not infrequently, looking for the plague, or maybe figuring out even what might have caused the plague. We find ourselves in an inn, the innkeeper's inn. Let's start there, actually. Devin, do you want to describe your inn for us and what it's like on this snowy night? There's a storm coming, and it's going to get fuller, and so people are probably going to be staying here. But why don't you describe the inn for us?
Wonderful. So, my inn is a relatively small in comparison to what you would expect. A big central fireplace with a general seating area to the middle and the sides as they just come out. And then the doorway would come in centrally to the fireplace itself. And then there would be a nice desk, and heading around the side and up then would be the stairwell leading to the rooms.
Beautiful, yeah. And is it clean? Is it nice? Is it like, do you like this place? Is this like your favorite place in the world, or are you like resentful of being stuck here and wished you had done something else with your life, that you've been here for so long?
I'm pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, considering what I could have been, and there are far worse fates than being an innkeeper, and I like to see people come in and leave happy. So it's pretty well looked after. It's quite clean. It's quite decorative. There's little pieces here and there of a few like art pieces or carvings or whatever. So yeah.
And what are you doing as the camera sort of turns to you and we see you for the first time?
I'm probably chatting with someone who has come in looking for a room.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of going over the general rules of the inn, making sure that they are going to treat the inn with respect, and as a result, everyone will treat them with respect and kind, and just the general kind of, odds and sods and rules.
Beautiful, that's great. Archibald, what brought you to the inn this night?
I am looking for leads. Ever since I left the academy, through my unfortunate disgrace, I've been just looking for like-minded individuals.
So you're there. Do you hang out at this inn a lot? Do you like sit in the corner, and do people know to like come find you if they want to talk about their experiences with, the arcane and things like that, or are you more private?
I'm pretty open with what I speak, except for the authority, of course. They are looking for certain peoples in the world, but I am not shy, and anyone who knows that usually will be offered a drink or two.
Excellent, that's great. And what do you look like when we're just as I'm visualizing?
I am always clean. I am always proper with anyone who would listen to me. And right now, if I had my bowler's hat, I have my bowler's hat, but I don't.
Doesn't fit with that.
This is what I look.
Excellent. And Edmund, why is this in your regular drinking hole? Why do you drink here?
Well, most of the people who come here are not as high station as I am, so they tend to be impressed by my presence, and I really like to give them the opportunity to have a little bit of an interface or an interaction with people of my station. So I come to just, be among the people. I'm a man of the people, so that's why I come. Has nothing to do with the ale or the women or anything like that. That's not why I'm here.
Yes.
No, nothing at all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Theo, Minstrel, you're also in this scene, and our camera pans to you. What are you doing at this moment? Are you trying to entertain someone for a couple of coins? Are you hitting someone up for a story? What are you doing?
Right now, I'm actually hitting someone up, trying to see if there's anything interesting about their life right now. And from the look on my face, you can tell that, well, I'm getting bored. This person is not supplying anything that would make any great story. So, I'm just at this point carrying the conversation along until it finds a somewhat decent spot to end itself, and then I just move along to the next person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're hitting up everyone in the bar. Are you friendly about it? Do people like telling you their life story, or is it something that like at some point people start avoiding you because you're just a little bit too pushy?
No, I'm very friendly about it upfront because I want to learn what I can while being a friend. So I am always the one that I'm like, hey, I want to chat with you about your life experiences, but I'm also going to buy you a drink. So I set it up to where it is always a friendly experience. And if they ask, I will play a tune.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So about 20 minutes ago, someone came into the inn and just sort of loudly let everyone know, storm's picking up. Not going to be able to make it home tonight. Everyone's sort of stuck inside for the night. People sort of nodded. Most people were sort of expecting that to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. Some of you probably are regulars enough here that you actually have rooms at this inn. Others may not. And the storm does indeed pick up. The wind howls and the sheets of glass rattle in the windows. And it's definitely pretty cold. Fewer and fewer people are coming in. It's starting to get into the evening. Fire is warm. People are still gathered in the common room mostly. Some people have probably gone up to bed, but it's still whatever. And no one is really entering. No one's entered for a little while now when suddenly the door slams open and there's a gust of wind and this tall, imposing presence of a man wearing the symbol of the High Inquisitor shoves a woman into the ground. This woman is dressed sort of raggedy, and her clothes are very ripped up, not dressed for the weather. Parts of her look chilled to the bone, and her hands are bound, as are her ankles. And he shoves her to the floor and says, "Foul witch! I will see you hanged for the curse you have laid upon this land! Innkeeper! A room for me and my prisoner!"
You appear to be rather unwell. Are you feeling okay?
Silence! Just a room!
I don't think everyone else is going to be comfortable about this current scenario. You sure you can't? There's probably other inns. No.
How
okay.
do you know? What? This is the only inn in this small village. This is... I would make it to the keep if I could, but I cannot in this snowstorm. You shall put up an inquisitor. That is your job and your citizen's duty.
It is indeed. Let me just go ahead and grab your room key for you. Go ahead.
Innkeeper. As the son of the Duke. I just... excuse me, Inquisitor. We cannot risk having everyone here infected with plague, and you're clearly ill. And as the son of the Duke, I'm going to suggest that you find other accommodations. The young woman is welcome to stay.
No, this woman does not leave my sight. She is responsible for all of this. Now back away! I go to the room. This is on the Duke's authority. Who are you? Some poor bastard child? No! I am an inquisitor!
What's your proof?
He pulls out a medal that he's wearing and just shoves it in your face, and he actually just tosses it at you. And,
I didn't mean that. I meant your proof that she's a witch.
It will all come out at the trial. And he starts stomping through the room looking for the staircase to go up. People back away from him as he's storming through the room. And of course, just for point of clarity, Edmund, you immediately recognize the woman. She is very badly beaten, but this is the sister of your betrothed.
I'm going to actually try to get between him and her then.
Excellent. Yes, you want to interpose yourself. What's your intent here?
I want to protect her. I don't want him to harm her further, and hopefully I want to free her.
Cool. Let's and you're trying to do this bodily, obviously.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Excellent. Well, you don't appear to have any skill that would be helpful for you here. So
I'm trying to make a show of how tough and awesome I am, though.
Okay.
I'm really trying to convince everybody that I am chivalrous and brave, and that I have authority, and that I ought to be listened to in this moment. And maybe with my compassion to this woman, get the crowd on my side so that he's outnumbered.
So your goal here is actually to use. So you're actually are you trying to use persuasion on someone here? If
I can manage to not fight him because he's going to kick my butt, I'd really like to not fight him.
Well, he's probably not going to fight you. It's more a matter of can you actually interpose yourself?
I see.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you can try to interpose yourself if you want physically to do so.
And I will also stomp my foot and point my finger and go, unhand her!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going to do something. This is not what I was hoping for the first roll of the game, but sometimes the game goes in a different direction than you expect, and that's totally awesome. So you're going to open a new skill. So on your character sheet, underneath your skills, there's a thing called Being Learned. And you are going to add a skill.
Being learned. Do. Yes! Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you are going to hit plus add, and then you're going to type in the word brawling.
Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I type? Brawling! Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you are then going to, it should ask you what skill it's based on, and you're going to put in power.
Power. Okay.
And then you're going to roll your brawling skill. This is a contested roll. Okay. So what that means is that it's your brawling versus his brawling. Now, there's a problem here. you don't know brawling, and he does know brawling. So that means that you need to get 2 successes for every 1 success that he gets. On the other hand, you do get what's called a beginner's luck die, because this is the first time you're using the skill. So you get to roll a beginner's luck die modifier added to that. So if you click on the 6-sided die,
Okie dokie.
and then you're going to have the first thing it's going to ask is modifiers, if I'm correct.
Okay.
And you're going to put 1 modifier.
Okay.
You can't fork anything into this because this is an unlearned skill. You can only fork unlearned skills. And then you're not going to spend Arthur on this. Trust me, you don't want to.
Right.
And your ob is going to be 3, actually. Now, before
3.
you fail,
Yeah.
let's
Can I just say that as I see all this happening, I'm wanting to come up because I'm like, this may not be like a hero story, but this will be a great story.
That's great. I love it. Totally down. Now, so you're watching this attentively. So, Edmund, before you fail here, I want to talk about the consequences of your failure. Okay. Your goal here was sort of to impress the crowd. That was your intent. If you succeed in this task, then you will succeed in impressing the crowd and interposing yourself between these people, and the scene will have to change. The Inquisitor will have to come up with some other way of dealing with this problem, or ask you to do something differently. If you fail, then he's going to embarrass you somehow, and everyone is going to laugh at you, and this is going to become a comedy about how dumb you are, trying to stand up to this Inquisitor. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Why don't you roll?
I can't even blow on my dice. I'll blow on my computer.
I know, I'm so sorry. Roll 20. No metal dice.
So it says additional complications. Am I supposed to put it?
Nope.
No, just submit?
No additional complications. Just submit.
Because I was going to say it's bad enough as it is.
So you got 4 successes.
Uh-huh.
He got 3 successes, but of course, because of the fact that you are untrained, that counts as 6. That's why the obstacle doubled to 6.
Gotcha.
You have no 6s in your roll. You rolled 66, but you have no 6s, so you cannot explode your dice to try and turn this failure into a success.
Okay.
So there's really nothing you can do. So, so you try to, interpose yourself, but I think you don't realize that, he's got a rope that's, been hanging on the floor that's tied to her hands. And so, you interpose yourself, and he just pulls on the rope, and you just fall flat on your ass. As it just he wraps it around your knees and you just collapse backwards, and he starts physically dragging this woman across the floor, and just ignores you entirely. Inkeep! He just shouts, expecting you to keep up.
Yes. Let me go. Yeah. The key's here. There you go.
Do you show this Inquisitor up to the room, or do you let him find it himself, or what's going on?
I'll take him up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The key's here. Go this way. Go on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to ask you a quick question, my dear Devin. You have an instinct that says never leave the common room unattended. Do you have someone here in the common room with you? Do you have an working or something like that?
I would assume so.
Okay. Who is this person?
Make up name on the spot. Her name is Tanya. She's an employee.
Okay. So Tanya works for you. Has she been working for you long, or is this something that has recently come up because you've needed more help because your wife isn't helping?
It would be a recent endeavor. So it would be a case of very short amount of time making sure that pretty much straight up to the room,
Awesome.
Lock the door, because that's what I do, and then bolt straight back down.
Great. Well, let's create this person quickly. We're going to make a roll here.
Woohoo!
I know. Already, I roll. You're going to be testing your circle stat.
All right.
Now, circles represents your ability to know people, how many people you know, whether they're friendly towards you and things like that. And that is sort of standardly how it is rolled and tested. So I have to ask you a couple questions. This will be pretty straightforward. You've already answered some of them. Who you're looking for. Tanya, this is not a high-skill job, right? This is just someone to assist you with things.
Yeah, just general cleaning, keeping an eye when I'm not there, that kind of thing.
Great. She is of the same station, rank, or social class as you, so there's no additional difficulty there. Do you want her to have any specific disposition or knowledge or anything like that? Are you shooting for something nice or someone who's like an expert chef or something like that, or anything, or just
a warmer face, just to make sure that when I'm not there, when I'm dealing with other things, that there is still someone welcoming there and good with people, good with talking and convincing people to stay as well.
Okay, excellent. That's easy enough. We're gonna call it. Pardon me for 1 second. Sorry, something went down the wrong pipe. And there we go. Yeah, so you're going to make a circles test to create this person. So you should have on your character sheet, under stats, something called circles.
I do indeed.
What is your circles stat number?
It says here it's a 1.
That is a low number. Excellent. Let me take a look at your character for just 1 second. While I just go over some things. Okay. Excellent. Cool. So it's going to be a little strong. I'm excited about it. Okay. So you're going to roll a circles test of OB2, but you're only rolling 1 die. So let's talk about that. It is actually, technically speaking, still possible to succeed on a circles test, even though you are only rolling 1 die. You could, if you wanted, choose to spend a persona on this test, and that would give you an additional die. So that means you'd be rolling 2 dice to get 2 successes. Again, also, anytime you roll a 6, you spend a fate to re-roll that die. It makes it exploding. Does that make sense? You don't have to feel obligated to do that, but if you don't, if you fail this roll for some reason, because your odds are low of succeeding it, right? Then there's going to be some sort of complication in who Tanya is. Tanya might have a vendetta against you. She might secretly be in love with someone. She might have discovered that your wife is sick and be looking to spill the beans somehow or something like that. So we don't know yet. It depends on whether you fail this roll. Let's have you roll your circles test.
Awesome. Okay, so D6. Modifier?
There are no modifiers because circles can only be modified by relationships and affiliations, and you have none.
Wonderful. Whatever Arthur means.
That's if you want to spend a persona here.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Yes, I shall.
Then add 1 persona. I will delete persona from. That's not only the personas.
4, and the obstacle was
2.
2.
Okay, that's 1 success on 2 dice. Unfortunately, it's a 5, so you don't succeed. Sucks, doesn't it? So yeah, Tanya works for you. I think Tanya does have a warm face. That's something you specifically wanted. And I think she's also the town gossip. I think that she's already become good friends with Minstrel. And like Minstrel Theo, she often tells you things that you're not that interested in, but she's super into telling you ooh, the baker's son was having a fling with the leather worker's daughter, or whatever. That sort of thing. So that's been going on a lot. Yeah, and she's a horrendous gossip, and so she's not actually that trustworthy. So you leave the room, leaving Tanya in charge. and take our Inquisitor up. And he opens the door and, again, violently shoves the witch into the room and looks at you and says, "Does this miserable, rat-infested building have dinner?"
I can surely have something made for you, Inquisitor. Don't you worry.
Bring it up here. And he slams the door in your face.
Okay. And just kind of head on back down quite swiftly.
Please.
Oh, I would love to go talk to Tanya.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see Devin leave, and Theo, your first instinct is to immediately go talk to Tanya.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that... So what do you think your relationship with Tanya is?
We are friends. And
Just friends?
so, like, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing more than friends at this point, but we're friends. But I slip her extra coin on the side. Like, I pay her for my drinks, but I do not pay the inn for my drinks.
That's excellent.
Right? But at the same time, while I do that, she gives me gossip.
Yeah. So immediately she says, "Ooh, thank you, Theo." And she like fills up your ale for you.
Okay.
And what's piqued your interest tonight? This is... You just saw the biggest thing that we've ever had happen here. That was awesome, right? So exciting.
Oh yeah. I also saw that he was pretty sick. You know,
it's the plague.
It could be the plague. But
man, it would be awful if there was plague here in this town. The business would go away. Everyone would flee. But I mean, it's an Inquisitor, so they've got protections against that sort of stuff, right? The might of God's got to protect them or something.
Yeah, something like that. I do have a question for you. I know that Devin's wife was helping him, and then you came to join. Do you ever know what happened to her? Because I have not seen her in a long while.
Yeah. Okay. So let's roll. That's obviously got to be a roll. Theo, let's take a look at your skills here. I think this is going to be a persuasion check right off the bat. You're trying to persuade her that it's in her best interest to give you information. Persuasion, by the way, only works if you're trying to convince them that it's in their best interest.
Correct.
So you are telling the truth. You're not lying here. Do you have any skills that you would like to fork?
Yes. Conspicuous. I'm not being quiet about this. So, you know, if a third party overhears, I really don't care.
Yeah, conspicuous is going to be more about becoming the center of attention, right? If you were trying to persuade the room to give you this gossip, then conspicuous could be forked.
That's fair. So, what about the rumor wise?
100%. You are looking for rumors. Anything that has anything to do with rumors, rumor-wise forks into. Wises, by the way, for those who are listening, wises are skills that means like you know about something. So if you're steel-wise, you know about steel. If you're cave-wise, you know about caves. The funniest one I ever saw was apocalypse-wise. You know about apocalypses. But there's all sorts of good things here. And they're more or less mostly useful for forking into any situation that they might come up with. So, yes, rumor-wise, absolutely forks.
And may I also roll in sleight of hand because I'm going to be giving a little bit extra than what I normally do.
Definitely, yes.
Okay. So the die modifier.
Okay, so you got 2 forks. You can put 2 things in there.
Artha.
Are you spending? If you're spending Persona to get a bonus die on this, then you would do so here. Otherwise, don't worry about it and just hit next.
I think I've got plenty of die, so I should be fine.
Okay.
And what is my obstacle?
So the obstacle is the will of the character that you're affect, Tanya. Tanya is a 2 life path character,
So 2.
So you put in 3. 3. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Obstacle 3.
All right.
So success here. So Tanya does not know what happened to the innkeeper's wife.
Okay.
So success does not get you that information. But success does get you some piece of information that may interest you about the situation that you are asking.
That is great.
Failure, on the other hand, will get you in probably some sort of indignant response. She likes you right now, but the innkeeper's wife is the one who's paying her. That's a tricky person to get you to have her turn on. So
That's fair.
does that make sense? I'm not going to give a disadvantage because I don't think it's that tricky.
Right.
But that's what we're working on.
Okay.
So you can. This might be burning a contact. Ooh, 2 successes on 3 failures. So you have failed this roll. No 6s.
I did.
You do over 1. I'm not going to worry about that though. That's a rule that I'm not going to play with.
We are just starting out with failure.
Yes.
I
So
love this game.
Burning Wheel is definitely a game about failure a lot. You're going to fail a lot, and that's great. We want failures because failures make the story more complicated. Successes simplify things. So the game is definitely set up in such a way that it's much easier to fail than to... So her immediate response is to take your money and then slap you across the face. She just physically slaps you. She's not hiding this at all. And says, "How dare you? We're speaking of someone who is a good and honest woman, someone who has helped to provide for me and given me a job and a place of employment here. I would never, ever turn on my employers. How dare you? I'm not going to throw you out into the cold, but how dare you?"
I was not trying to make you turn on her. I was just curious of, if you had known anything about her absence, shall we say.
She turns and stomps away.
And as she's turning away, I'm like, can I have an extra ale?
Perfect. I love it. So Archibald, how did you react to this whole scene that just happened here? What was your response, and what occurred for you? How a bastard sort of stood up and made a fool of himself, but what was your response?
I'm more interested in why the High Inquisitor is out here, but more too his accusation of what may become a witch. Maybe. I'm most curious, but it was too tense for me. I didn't want to. I just wanted to hear what may have gone on.
So what's the next thing that you do, though? What is your next? Are you going to try and find your way up there to speak with the Inquisitor, or are you going to try and talk to some people down here? What do you want to do? What's your goal? What do you?
I would like to talk to the High Inquisitor, actually.
Okay. So, Theo, you start walking downstairs back to the common room, having locked the High Inquisitor's door behind you, but the High Inquisitor has. When you see Archibald the Gault walking up the stairs towards the back room where this Inquisitor is, do you say anything? Do you want to stop him? Do you have anything to say at all?
Heading back to your room, are you?
Are you okay? I heard a slam.
Absolutely fine. Never better. Don't worry about me.
Quite honest, I would like to speak with the High Inquisitor.
I don't think he's going to be expecting visitors, but you can go ahead and try. It's not me he's going to be heading.
Indubitably, sir. I will go regardless.
Understood. I'm gonna go and fetch his dinner now. Just kind of, I'm gonna go past and like kind of just accidentally shoulder nudge as I'm going by, just irritated, just kind of and head down.
Beautiful, I love it. So Archibald, you continue to the end of the hall, Inquisitor. and the door to his room is locked. What do you want to do?
I, with my trusty cane that I don't have in my hand, I like to rap a few times on the door and says, Archibald Bernard, at your service.
Help! Is someone there?
He raps again, trying to be calm about it.
The Inquisitor died. Can someone please let me out? I'm really scared. I'm locked in here. I can't really move.
And on that dire cry of help, he would like to open the door or slam it open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you go to open the door's locked.
Oh, he would try to force it open at this point.
Excellent. Do you have any skills that will allow you to force it open?
No.
Great. I don't know if there's a skill that's really appropriate for this. We might just call it a straight power check. Yeah, we'll call it a power check to determine what's going on here. So you're just going to roll power. How well made is your innkeeper? Scale of 1 to 10.
It's probably like a solid 5, like straight in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite kind of regular, but it's been well looked after.
Great. So this is going to be an ob2 power test. Consequence is obvious. If you fail, then you can't open the door.
Of course.
That is a success. So you ram, what is it, a rod or is it your shoulder? What do you do?
Someone succeeded.
My shoulder.
Excellent. Yeah, so you ram your shoulder into the door and it cracks and breaks open. And you can sort of see through now into the hole. And there lying on the bed is the Inquisitor. He's got pustules all over his face. And he's vomited a little bit to the side of his mouth. And tied up in the corner is the witch. She is bound.
Drastic. Are you okay?
No, I can't move. Can you help me out?
And I think at this point he would call down to the innkeeper and say, "Help up here! Help!"
So Theo, you hear that? Devin, sorry, you hear that? I apologize.
I was going to say, huh?
Do any of the rest of us hear like a door being broken down and a woman crying for help?
Absolutely. You don't hear the woman crying for help, but you do hear the door being broken down.
What the devil is he doing up there?
Let's go find out. I'm gonna run upstairs.
Excellent. Yeah. So
I go ahead and like pull the key out anyway.
Of course.
And I'm just following behind with my ale, and then I'm just like, okay, it's a story. Great.
And there's a couple of the commoners come up as well. Some of the other people in the tavern. So it's not just our heroes; it's also other people as well. So you all end up there. And there's now a busted down door with Archibald inside. You see the Inquisitor lying on the bed, vomit next to his mouth, pustules all over his body and face, and the vomit mixed with blood, and the witch bound in the corner.
Someone untie her. Someone untie her.
Just clean those bed sheets.
Innkeeper, untie her. She's in the corner. Untie her.
Archibald's already on his way to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Archibald, you untie the witch?
I do, absolutely.
Do you untie her all the way?
Yes, actually.
Wait, what? No, one of the commoners shouts out, "Wait, what? No, she's a witch. She has magic powers. You can't free her."
Alleged witch who has not had a trial, and
the Inquisitor said that she was a witch.
No, the Inquisitor said that there was going to be a trial. Also, look at the Inquisitor. He wasn't a very smart man, was he?
He's dead. Who knows? Maybe she did it. How do you know that she didn't? What if she's going to turn those dark powers on you? What if everything about it goes wrong? What if she drives you insane? What if she's making you say that right now? What if she's making you say all of this? What if he was really a devil? I'm not. What? A
What
devil?
if he was really a devil and he's making you think that she's a witch?
Yeah.
Would you get them out of here?
I am just furiously scribbling down notes because I'm just like devil, witch, mind powers.
Yeah. So, Edmund, I think there's got to be a role here
Okay.
you're trying to get these people out of here.
Yeah. I'm trying to persuade them to like back off of her.
Mhm.
I would like to point out alleged witch.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, why don't you roll persuasion? Do you have any forks for any skills that you want to fork in?
Okay, I have to try to understand. What is countryside? What is that?
Countryside wise, I'm pretty sure. Let me check.
Okay, so I know about the common people here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand them, so I know how to speak their language.
100%.
It's not my language, but I know how to speak it.
Yep, I love it.
All right.
So it's persuasion. You're forking countryside wise.
So
this is against the crowd. So it's going to be against the average will of the crowd. So that's going to be against 3. Odd 3.
Okay. And
success.
What modifier do I put in? Do I put 1 in the modifier?
Yeah, if you're only forking in one skill, then you put in one thing.
I'm trying to see.
Mhm.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else, but I don't think there's anything else. So I'll go with that.
Depends on how you go about doing things. Either way, though, so if you succeed here, then the crowd will head back downstairs in general. Any PCs are free action here. This is not up against the PC.
Do I have money?
Well, check. Do you have a resources stack?
Where would that be?
It would be under attributes.
Attributes.
Bottom right, probably.
Resources 2.
Yeah, that's some money.
Okay. A round of beer on everyone who goes downstairs now. Yeah.
Put
that one in there too.
For that, right? So
Perfectly
that's
reasonable.
for free.
That's why I asked if I had money.
All right.
Yeah. So that's actually that's a substantive thing. So let's make a resources check to see if you can pay for it. If not, you can still make the offer and it still happens, but there's going to be consequences in terms of your wallet later on.
All right, so now I'm going to roll resources.
Yes, we're going to roll resources first, and it's just an OB 1 resources check. So you're rolling 2 dice, you just need to get 1 success.
Submit. 1, submit. Eat.
Perfect. So no problem. You spend some money, and you're buying everyone drinks from the inn.
Okay.
So that's going to give you some other forks that you can probably get into this, right? So that was probably your goal with that. This is, by the way, called a linked test, where you make one test to sort of give you advantage in a future test.
Alrighty.
So that's what you just did there. So yeah, so this is going to be persuasion. And you are forking in countryside-wise and drinking.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it's either drinking or beer-wise. I'm not going to make a huge distinction
and it's
there.
The same anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but it's one or the other. It's probably not both.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So it's the average exponent of the will. Ob 3 is your what you're trying to do here. If you succeed, they will go downstairs and drink. If you fail, the situation will escalate in some way.
Awesome.
Probably someone will start like grabbing at someone, or it might become a more intense situation, or they'll force other people to go downstairs. Otherwise, but I want to clarify that just because you're sending them downstairs, you even if you succeed on this roll, that does not mean that they're not invested in the witch anymore. It means that they're trusting you for the moment.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
This is not over. Okay.
And modifiers is 2, right?
Yes, you got 2 forks.
Okay. I said submit, but it did not do anything. What happened?
Did it end up behind your character sheet? Sometimes that happens.
It might have. Here, I'll just do it again because that's easier. Modifiers 2. Arth 0, whatever that is. Obstacle. How much did you say obstacle was? Base obstacle was 3? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nice. 3 successes on 3 dice. So you just succeed. You are able to convince many of the people, like, take you up on this offer of free booze. One person who you know, their name is, I don't know what's the name. Sten. Their name is Sten. And Sten just says, "You can't let her go, boss. If she's a witch, she's a witch. We can't, we can't have witches running around these parts. That's scary." And he turns and goes and just like giving you advice not to let them go.
Theo is going to sit there and take her up on the offer of the free beer and go downstairs, get the free beer, but then work his way back up.
Oh, yes. Great.
I love it. I love it. Oh my god. I love it. Okay, so Theo, you're absent for the next part of the scene. You can join anything after that. Edmund has demanded that the witch be free, and Archibald, you are in the process of freeing the witch.
Yes, and I would like to stand her up as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so she tries to stand up, but she actually collapses a little bit. And you look down and you see that like her legs are bleeding.
Is there a chair? Can someone get a chair for her? What's her name, by the way?
Yeah, let's come up with one. We've been calling her the witch this whole time. So the witch is... We're going to call her Lorana.
Lorana. Can we get a chair? Her name is Lorana. She hasn't done anything. Can we just get a chair for her, please?
Sure thing. I'll just go downstairs and grab a chair.
Is there a room that doesn't have a dead man with vomit in it? Could we go to one of those?
I'll have to go get the key, but yeah, sure. Just give me 2 seconds.
Quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so Devin, how do you feel about that, actually? Like, a dead man with vomit is a sign of the plague. How do you feel about having that in your house? And
furious.
And do you want to, like, if this woman's the cause of the plague, do you really want to move her to another room? Are you super comfortable with that idea? Like, what if she infects the bed sheets and then you get it or someone else gets it?
No, because my plan essentially is to head downstairs, grab a chair, come back up, just be kind of like, oh, looks like all the other rooms are taken, so it's fine. We can just go ahead and throw this in here, and she can take a seat. It's fine.
I love it. So Archibald and Edmund, you're in the room with Lorana right now.
Are you okay?
I couldn't hear you. What?
Oh, Lorana and Edmund. Sorry, Lorana, Edmund, and Archibald together right now.
Right.
As Theo goes to get a chair. As Devin goes to get a chair. Sorry, Devin, Theo.
I'm actually gonna try to help Archibald hold her up. Go. Okay. And how much do I know about what Archibald studies and what his opinion is on the supernatural? Nothing at all. I don't know him.
Nothing. No.
All right. I'll just help hold her up and go. Thank you for helping. Thank you for coming to her aid.
Water? Is there any water?
We'll have the innkeep get it.
I knew I should have told him that. Yes, we will get it soon.
Thank you for freeing me. I don't want to die.
We're not going to let that happen.
You are safe here, my lady.
Are you sure? I don't know if I believe you. Why would you protect me? I'm nothing to you, she says to Archibald.
This is just me doing the good deed. I mean, you are asking for help, and that's enough for me.
She coughs a little, pathetically, and then looks at you, Archibald, and says, "Please, could you get me some water?"
Why, yes. You do have her.
I have her. I have her.
And he quickly goes down to fetch some water.
What are you doing here, Edmund?
What am I doing here? What are you doing here? What happened?
The Inquisitor just came to my father's house, our father's house, and just banged on the door, came and grabbed me and started dragging me through the snow. There was nothing father could do. The Inquisitor's writ is law.
Do you know why he was sent there? Did my father send him?
I assume so. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Does he know about the wedding?
Does he know about the wedding?
What's your call?
That's my call?
Mm-hmm.
Of course he does. I've told him about it. He seemed happy. I would never go behind my father's back. That would be foolish.
Then I have no idea. It must be something else. But I promise you, Edmund, I'm no witch. I don't even know what witchcraft is. I doubt the plague even is caused by witchcraft. It's just this is madness.
Are you feeling okay?
I mean, she looks down at her legs, and she then sort of looks up at you, pleading.
Just seemed like you were coughing just a little bit there.
I just need some water.
Okay, I'm gonna believe you right now since I'm holding you and I can't do anything about it. Well, we have to somehow prove that you're not a witch.
How do you prove the negative?
I don't know. All I know is that like maybe they drown you or something like that, and that's probably not a good solution either. So I don't know.
Frozen solid.
It's going to be a really, really cold process then. Yeah, no, I don't know. So we're gonna have to see if there's somebody who knows more about this. The innkeeper is a very superstitious man. He might have some opinions, but we're gonna find a way to free you. I would just take you out of this inn if I could, but then they'd just come hunting you anyway, and me, they'd come hunting me anyway. So I'm not going to do that. But let's see if somebody can help us prove your innocence.
That would be nice. Of course. The innkeeper, you know he's superstitious?
I do, right? Because I'm here all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know the innkeeper. Everyone can know a little bit about the innkeeper pretty
really
easily.
He's really superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
So if we get him on our side, he probably would be helpful in like maybe getting everybody else to get off your back.
Okay. Yeah. Can you send him in so that I can have a conversation with him?
Well, I think we're gonna get alone.
Well, I mean, you can be here too. I just don't want all the crowd.
Oh yeah, no, without the crowd, that's fine. But I do intend to listen to everything that you say and everything that he says.
Why?
Just
do you not trust me, Edmund?
I would like things to not get more fucked up. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I would like it not to get worse. And people have a tendency to listen to me when I talk.
I don't know how my sister would feel about that, but okay.
You don't know how your sister would feel about me helping you? I feel like she'd probably be okay. Does she not like you very much?
I don't know how she'll feel about you not trusting me.
Oh, yeah. It's not you that I don't trust. It's everybody else here.
So I want you to roll a check here.
Okay.
To try and convince her that you have like a certain degree of faith in her, because she sees you as being like she sees you as being like slightly sketchy. Towards her.
What,
and
me? Never.
Yeah. And wants to know like what's going on here. I think this is actually and probably the reason that she feels this way is because the way that you are talking to her is kind of the way that, like, I say this with all respect, a nobler talks to a common person,
right?
And she is also a noble. So I think
more
this is
so
actually
than me, probably.
Yeah, definitely more so than you. So I think this is an etiquette check. This is like a how polite have you actually did you use the correct honorific or whatever? And we're not going to worry about whether you did or not. We're just going to gloss over that and just jump
right. All right. Can I add persuasion in there because I'm trying to persuade
100%.
her that I trust? Yeah. Okay. And let's see. I mean, family secrets. I don't really know what that does, so I don't know.
It's family secret wise. So anytime you're trying to discuss anything about family secrets.
Well, this isn't a secret anymore.
Not anymore, although it could be.
Okay. Let me make an argument for extortion.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm a really crucial piece of her getting her butt out of this situation at this point. So she's probably at least unconsciously motivated to not get really mad at me about dumb stuff right now so that I will be on her side and help her.
100%
so, like,
true.
This would be swallow your pride. Yeah, absolutely.
You are extorting her. This is totally this is a perfect opportunity to fork in extortion.
Okay.
I would agree. You're not rolling extortion. You're rolling etiquette.
Right.
But this is a perfect opportunity to fork it in.
Yes. Okay. So that's 2 modifiers then.
Yep.
Persuasion. Okay. And
this is an OB3 test.
Okay.
And the failure is a souring of your relationship, and success as that she trusts you. So never mind. With the success, we can say that she trusts you. Perfect. 3
Yay!
on 3.
All right.
Beautiful. Let me just check something. Ooh, you've got 3 6s in there. Not that you need to do this, but certain skills, certain checks, there's a chance to, if you succeed by a higher margin, then we will allow for like a greater degree of success. It's sort of the equivalent of a nat 20. If you,
like she falls in love with me.
I mean, yeah, or she'll confess something that's like a family secret that she didn't want other people to know, or some degree of something will go on here that is pertinent on some level. If you want to do that, you'd have to spend a fate point, but you would get to roll 3d6 more.
Nice.
It's your call. It's your call if you want to do it. I'm just making the offer there.
What's the cost to me? It's the fate point?
You spend 1 fate point, yeah. And you only have 3 right now, so.
I mean, why not? Life is short.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, let me do it. How do I do this?
Yeah.
So in the chat in Roll20,
Okay.
you're going to type / roll space
ROLL.
ROLL space the number 3, then the letter D, and then the number 6, and then you're going to type an exclamation point.
Okay,
And then
hit
you're going to hit return. Yep, return or enter. Ouch, that did not go very well. Oh well.
Okay.
So you
I
spent a
tried.
fate point. Yeah, absolutely, you tried. So you spent a fate point. Sorry, this is the bastard who spent a fate point. I think I just unintentionally deleted one from the innkeeper, so I'll give it that. Perfect. So you tried, but you do not earn her trust any more than you did from the. So she's not going to confess some sort of deed to you. Some sort.
Okay.
I think at this point the innkeeper comes back with a chair.
And Theo.
Theo in tow, yes.
Yes, and Theo's in tow. So Theo and Devin return. With Archibald going to join the scene later. So so Devin, you bring in the chair, and Lorana sits in the chair, and she looks at you and says, "Thank you. Thank you so much."
You're welcome.
And you look at her legs, and like again, her tattered beyond recognition. This is someone who was walking through the snow barefoot and dragged along for a good chunk of the way, and probably for miles. And so parts of her flesh are actually black.
Can I get you anything else? Some food? A change of clothes?
I don't know if my stomach could keep anything down.
Okay.
Perhaps a. I don't know if you have anything. A token.
A token?
Rabbit's foot. Lock of hair. Whatever you have.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and just swiftly leave the room, head downstairs real quick.
Why do you want a rabbit's foot, Lorena?
Just something for. And then she looks at the minstrel. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm the local minstrel here. I'm here to, talk to people, learn their lives, learn their stories, play some music. I'm here to cheer people up. Do you want to hear some music? I bet I'll cheer you up.
I guess.
And he proceeds to just play a tune to try and essentially make her a little more trusting to him. Just like, oh, he is not someone that I need to be wary of.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're trying to do the same thing as trying to get to open up to you and all that good stuff. Excellent. Theo, the minstrel.
Mm-hmm.
This is our first roll against her, I believe. This is a persuasion check that you're going to fork sing or perform or whatever you have.
A little bit of singing with a little bit of my lute, so
Mhm.
singing and musical instrument.
Perfect.
Um,
So-
and can I throw a little bit of acting in there of me just trying to act as, someone who could be their best friend?
yeah, absolutely.
So that would give me a 3
Mhm.
modifier for persuasion.
Okay.
And oh,
Do you want to know what the obstacle is?
yes, please.
So I will tell you flat out that the way persuasion works, I don't get a say in the obstacle. The obstacle is literally their
Okay.
7.
Oh, this is not going to go well.
So let's talk about the consequence for failure here. Because I think it's worth talking about a little
Yeah.
bit. So your intent here is to make her your friend.
Yeah.
If you succeed...
Or at least, like,
Mhm.
I am not her enemy.
Right. If you succeed, that's what happens. If you fail, I think what happens is the opposite. You develop a interest and fascination with her and believe that she is your friend, even though she is actually manipulative.
Brutal.
Even better.
So if you fail this roll, I am going to give you the trait of trusting.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, so adding Artha, even if I did.
Well, an extra die matters, and then any you can fake to explode them, so they can become bigger. So this is not an automatic failure.
No. Can you only use one Artha at once?
You can only spend one persona on a roll.
Great. We're adding that.
Okay.
Base obstacle 7.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Well, here goes nothing.
Okay, that's 3 successes on 7, but
Ooh.
all 3 of those successes are 6s. Would you like to spend a fate to explode those 3 6s?
Yes.
Okay, so it's slash roll space 3d6 exclamation point. The exclamation point keeps them rolling. That is 4 more successes. 3 plus 4 is 7. You spent a lot to get that to happen.
Yeah.
But you have 100% succeeded. I love it. Our light comes back on, and Lorana has just finished listening to this beautiful song that Theo has played, and she looks at you, Theo, and says, that was lovely. I really appreciate what you're doing for me here. And then she turns and taps, just reaches out and taps Edmund a little bit and says, Edmund, I think I've changed my mind. I could use a little food. Could you go get something from the kitchen, or have someone go get something from the kitchen for me? I really appreciate it.
Who else is still in the room?
Just her and Theo.
I'll stick my head out the door and go, Innkeep! Innkeep! Innkeep!
Yes?
We need some food in here too!
Oh, good. Okay, just give me a moment.
All right, quick!
And then we see Archibald walking by with a glass of water. Okay. So Archibald, you can now enter the room if you so desire.
I think I may have taken a slight pause, hoping to hear something.
Excellent. Yeah, so you heard the tail end of the song, probably, and her saying something nice to the minstrel, Thea.
And I probably got caught.
Yeah, so
Edmund was turning around. It probably almost went face to.
Yeah, so Edmund pops out to shout for the innkeep for food, and it almost bumps into you physically as you have a glass of water just right there.
Is it like really clear that you're snooping?
I'm trying to be inconspicuous, but yeah,
Do you
I'm
have the
trying to listen in.
inconspicuous skill?
I do.
Do you have the inconspicuous skill?
I do.
Excellent. Well, let's roll inconspicuous then for you. Might as well. We're probably rolling a little bit more than we should, but that's okay for one shot.
Good to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Let me check inconspicuous. I'm pretty sure it's contested with observation, but let me double check. Okay, so this is a straight roll. This is an inconspicuous roll for you. It's contested by the observation of the people in the room. Is anyone paying attention or noticing things in the room around them? This would be either Theo or Edmund.
Well, I just stuck my head out in the hallway and saw him, so I'm trying to if I can gauge his.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So let's call. Do you have the skill observation?
Probably not. Nope.
Okay. So let's open observation for you.
I probably would not be focusing on whether or not he is in the hall, just because I am performing at my best right now.
Yeah, you really are too. Let's be real. You spent fate on this performance. This performance was stated.
Right.
Beautiful. So this is going to be an observation. So you're going to add a new skill.
Right.
Observation is based on perception.
Okay.
And then you get a modifier of +1 because it is a called beginner's luck.
Okay. So it like auto-filled everything.
Yep.
So I just click it and then I put modifier 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Obstacle.
Mm-hmm. Obstacle. Just leave obstacle 0 for now.
Okay. And don't submit or wait.
You can submit.
Okay. Did it work? Oh, additional complications.
None.
Okay.
3. Excellent. So, our dear Archibald, I need you to make an inconspicuous check. And your obstacle is 1.
Right.
Because it's because her observation is worth half as much because she doesn't have a range as you. So every 2 successes equals 1. We round down.
Okay.
So 3 successes is equal to 2 successes, which is equal to 1 obstacle for you. Make sense? Excellent. Well, you succeed in being inconspicuous. So, Edmund, when you pop your head out the door, you see Archibald there, but he just got here with the glass of water like a second ago.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Get her some water. Or you could go back and get her food too. Or the innkeep's coming with some food. It's fine. Just quick, innkeep.
I am cooking up a storm.
Beautiful.
Best gosh darn meal.
So, Innkeeper, you are away from the action a little bit, so I want to actually turn to you for a second and have a conversation with you. The people in the room, your patrons, they don't seem happy. They don't like the fact that there's a dead body in this inn. They don't like the fact that there's someone who is clearly a witch in this inn. And there's like a rising tension going on here. So this you've seen this before. This is the sort of thing that can lead to like a bar fight or a riot, maybe. It's not there yet, but it's definitely like it's on the cusp of dangerous. Just wanted to keep you aware of the situation if you want to do anything about that.
Don't worry, folks. Nothing to be alarmed about. Don't worry. We're going to get the situation sorted. The folks upstairs are interrogating, and we will have the correct justice dished out very soon. Just don't jump to any conclusions and make sure you're very comfortable and very relaxed. And I'm making food, so I'll go ahead and make enough for everyone.
I have a question for you. Do you have the skill Soothing Platitudes?
Oh, that is very specific. Hang on a second. I do.
Excellent.
And I'm really good at it, too. It's a 4.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, this is going to be a Soothing Platitudes roll to, and basically what this will do is delay the riot. If you succeed at this, and of course, if you fail at this, then people are going to want to go upstairs and interrupt what's going on up there.
Yeah.
So your stake in this might be a little bit odd. Now, I want to point out to you also, Innkeeper, someone who's an accused witch is inside this building. And you have a sick woman who you really like. We'll call her your wife. And, witches, they might be able to do things that could help. Maybe she could cure your wife. I don't know. Just putting that out there.
And that's exactly why I'm currently trying to keep the situation nice and diffused.
Excellent. So soothing platitudes. The obstacle is 3. Do you have any forks for this? Anything you want to fork in?
Let me have a little nosy.
Mm-hmm.
Persuasion.
Yep.
Definitely be in that because I'm definitely attempting to make sure that people are coming to my way of looking, and guest-wise as well, because these are
100%. These people are all your guests. Basically, any role that has to do with any of these people, you can add guest-wise to that. Okay, so 100%.
Cool.
So yes, that's soothing platitudes. Modifiers 2, persuasion and guest-wise, and the difficulty is, you can spend Arthur if you want, of course. Let me know if you do. And the difficulty is 3.
3. I have many dice. Yeah, there we go.
Nice. 3 successes on 3 failures. 3 successes on obstacle 3. So yeah, so the crowd listens to you. The speaking of food makes them happy. Tanya comes over to you and says, "Boss, they do get a little bit rowdy sometimes. I don't know how long it's going to hold them, but food will help. The booze helped, and food will help. Though also booze sometimes doesn't help because sometimes drunk people are, yeah."
We know, Tanya, don't worry. It's all good. It won't take too long, I promise. I'm just going to go ahead and make some food real quick, let the guys upstairs do their thing, and then everything will just blow over and be absolutely fine. Don't worry about it.
Hey boss, I was, sorry, I had a question. I'll help you in the kitchen. She sort of goes with you, to stand in the door of the kitchen so that she's in the common room but can look into you in the kitchen, right? So she is keeping the common room attended. And she says, someone asked, what's going on with your wife?
There's definitely that freeze of just... She's simply busy a lot these days. She's been looking for new work so that neither of us have to work so much. So she's been looking at people like yourself. You really thought you were the only person we were hiring? No. We're going to get a couple more as well.
Yeah, so let's roll falsehood here. You'll note already on your character sheet that falsehood is in the process of being learned. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's under your being learned skill. And the way I have it set up in this adventure is that not only is it being learned, but you are 1 check away from learning it. So you're going to roll falsehood. This is against Tanya's will, which we decided was 2. So you're going to try to lie to Tanya right now. And if you succeed, she will believe that the business is expanding. And if you fail, she will know that there is something that you are not telling her about where your wife is. But either way, falsehood is going to become open, and you are then going to have the falsehood skill, which will make you better at falsehood. Make sense? Beautiful. Yes. So why don't you roll falsehood for me, please?
Can I go ahead and fork another persuasion in, maybe?
You cannot fork until the skill is learned. That's one of the reasons why you want to learn skills. You can spend a persona, though, if you want to up the number of dice you roll. I should warn you that it's considered double ob. It's going to double your obstacle, even though the obstacle is 2. Because you don't know it, it doubles it. So it becomes obstacle 4.
Yeah, it's too important not to spend it.
Okay.
This innkeeper is a remarkably bad liar. I feel like anyone who serves alcohol to people has to be a really good liar at some point.
Obstacles 2, correct?
Obstacles 2, yeah. So part of the thing is that the skill that you are learning right now, that's something. Everyone should have a skill that they were learning that they will start at the beginning of the session. That's something that your character's been doing recently for the first time in their life, and they're starting to do it a lot lately. So it sort of tells you a little bit. So the innkeeper, it almost has falsehood open because he's been lying a lot about where his wife is all the time. So yeah, and other things.
She's fine. I promise, she's fine.
Yeah.
Any additional complications?
No. Wow, you succeeded. So you spent your persona on that.
In a row.
Nice. So you spent your persona on that. Let me check your innkeeper persona. So you are now out of persona points, just so you know. That is just something to be aware of. You know your persona. You still have 3 fate, though.
It's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So she's doing a little traveling then? she's not around. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Looking for
that's
people, fine employees like yourself.
that's fantastic. I'm really glad the business is doing so that you can expand. I hope it keeps up. Fingers crossed. I like working here, boss.
Fingers crossed indeed. And that's very good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
And she turns and goes to work in the room so that you're not leaving it unattended.
Just heavy breathing. Just
Yeah, absolutely. So on your character sheet, let me see what happens. No, it doesn't happen. So under skills now, I want you to add a skill and give yourself falsehood. And it is based on will. It should ask you what it's based on. You're going to say will. Does it not say what it's based on?
no.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it then. It should say falsehood like 1.
Yeah, falsehood 1.
Perfect. There you go. Well, now you know falsehood. Let's actually change it to falsehood 2. I'm just going to give you 1, so I don't know why this is 1. I'll think about it. I don't want to deal with some of the more complicated rules. Okay. Makes sense. Cool. Awesome. There you go. Now you can lie better. Isn't that cool? So let's check in on things upstairs a little bit more. So now we've got our remaining 3 characters hanging out with Lorana, whatever. I don't know her name. I've changed it like 6 times. So
I feel Theo has moved up to her, and gotten closer, kind of sat down by her because he felt the kinship, of just like, I have made a friend here, and I want to learn more. So he comes up and starts asking her about her, but trying to keep it low enough to where it's just between us 2.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about?
They're having a creepy little intimate conversation in this room while we're I'm trying to listen.
Excellent. Yeah. So I think this is a contested role. Inconspicuous versus observation. Do you have inconspicuous?
Oh,
shoot. No.
Do you have conspicuous instead?
I do have conspicuous.
Doesn't matter. So this is going to be inconspicuous versus observation. Yeah, let's see what happens here. So Theo, why don't you open inconspicuous? This is going to be in your learning skills. It's going to ask you what stat it's based on. You're going to say will.
Do I have to type in conspicuous?
Yes, you have to type in inconspicuous, and then what skill it's based on. What stat it's based on.
Spelling.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm so glad I don't have to spell that.
And it's based on will.
Yep. Perfect. And then you are gonna let's see. You're gonna roll that first. We actually don't know what the ob is. Great. We'll set the ob to 0. But you get 1 modifier for beginner's luck. It's the first time you're opening the skill.
Great.
Which says something about our minstrel. It means our minstrel has never tried to be inconspicuous before in his life.
Makes sense.
And I can use persona.
You absolutely can. So that'll give you an extra bonus die on top of that.
And what's my ob?
Your ob right now is 0. It's not actually 0, but we roll it as 0 for now because it's a contested ob.
Okay.
This is your last persona, by the way. You know that, right?
Yep.
Great.
I fully accept it.
So you get 3 successes. Excellent. Now, observation from our... do you have any... No 6s in that, though. Observation from our opposing source, the bastard, Edmund.
Yes, which is being learned.
Yes, and you've already used beginner's luck. You already rolled it, so you don't get that anymore.
All right.
It's just a straight roll. You can add persona if you want to give yourself an extra die, if you have any persona.
Not for this one. Not for this one. I'll just see what happens.
No,
Obstacle 3?
We're going to call it ob 0, because this is a flat roll, because neither of you are trained.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about it. They're kind of getting like a little intimate almost. It almost makes you a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of flirting with him, and he's kind of flirting with her. And I think that there's like a shyness that comes up around you a little bit. Or some such. That would be my guess, but you can also play that how you want.
Okay. I think I'm going to play it more like I don't want to be caught being really intrusive here because I almost lost her trust to begin with, so I don't want to act like I don't trust her even though I super don't trust her right now. Is Arthur still in the room?
Yes.
Okay.
Archibald.
Sorry, there's an AR. Archibald. Okay.
No worries.
I'm going to sidle up to him when they're done with their conversation.
Beautiful. So the two of them are sort of quietly chatting. And when she sees that her brother isn't there, she just says to the minstrel, Theo.
Yeah.
What does she say? Do you know who can get me out of here?
Wow. I will make you a deal. I will do everything in my power to get you out of here. But I need to know something about these other people here. I think you know something.
What is it? Do you know? Their futures, their fears, their darkest secrets.
Let's start with darkest secrets, please.
She chuckles a little. I can't do much here now. I need flies, tools.
All right. If you can give me, you and I are going to make a great partnership because you can give me dark secrets and stuff to write the greatest stories. So I am trusting in you,
But you can
and
never use
I'm
my
going
name.
to work. What?
Which you can never use my name. Witchcraft doesn't work if everyone knows that you're a witch.
Oh, no, I will never use your name in my story. I will, essentially, I am going to get you out of here. We are going to be great friends. And, you are going to help me just learn things about people that I can then, just sprinkle into my stories.
Get me alone with you.
You would like to be alone in here or in another room?
Doesn't matter.
I've
Just get
got
rid of the innkeeper.
a room here, so you need to be alone with the innkeeper. Okay. When we see an opening, and he kind of like reaches into his pocket and has like feels for his key to have it at the ready, and he's like, I want us to make a run and we can go into my room and I can lock the door.
She looks at her feet and she says, I don't know if I can win.
Being that this is his one way that he is going to become the best minstrel, and he is he's just like, okay, if you can create a distraction, I can grab you and I can carry you. I'll carry you. I'll do whatever it takes.
She looks at you. She knows. And she just sort of leans back and sighs. Wait for the opening.
And just her eyes close. And Theo's like, okay, I think something's in here. We cannot be in here. We have a dead body. She's getting sicker. I have a room. Let's move her to my room. I can
She's
carry
sick?
her there.
She's sick too?
I don't know, but I'm sure the dead body's not helping anything. She just, her eyes closed and her head rolled back. So I don't know.
She opens her eyes and she looks at the body and she sort of looks a little queasy.
Yeah, she's definitely getting sick from the dead body. We should move her to a different room away from the dead body. I've got a room. I've got the key here. Here, I'm going to go ahead.
It's just, I haven't got the plague.
I'm sorry.
It's just, I'm not.
Yeah, no, but just a moment. Just in terms of like propriety, you want to take the young lady to your chambers?
Well, not in that manner, but to get away from said dead body. I don't think keeping her around the dead body is going to help right now.
How about we find another place for her to be that aren't your chambers?
Because the innkeep, didn't he say that there was no other rooms?
He can kick somebody out.
It's an open room. It is not like my personal chambers. It's the one I rent out. But I've got the key. We can go open it right now. We don't have to bother the innkeep who is making the food that you so desperately need.
Myself and this fine gentleman here, to Archibald, will chaperone.
Well, yeah, like you can come along. Who's getting the food though?
The innkeep.
Oh, he's bringing it up.
Yeah.
And
I don't serve food to people.
So I think that there's a contested situation here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's people are at odds at this moment, and we don't have a total clarity as to what's going to happen. So I think that this is not going to elevate to a duel of wits yet, although it might later. But certainly for now, at least, we're going to have a contested role. Now, this is something that Burning Wheel does that not a lot of systems do. It's designed to allow, although it doesn't require, certain elements of PvP to occur. So the two of you are fighting right now about what's going to happen with this woman. We have a mechanism for resolving that. It's called rolling dice. So the rule is that you have to abide by the roll of the dice. If one of you guys wins the roll of the dice, then that means that the other one has to acquiesce. It's the equivalent of losing an argument. You don't have to acquiesce happily, but you have to, on some level, acquiesce. You're giving up something that you want in exchange for this. So this is going to be a contested roll, and you both get to know everything that the other one is adding into the roll, or rather, the number of dice that are being rolled. Archibald, you are not really arguing in this argument, but you are present in the room. If you want to lend support to either side, you can do that. That'll essentially give one die to either one side or the other. If you want the woman to always be chaperoned by the two of you, then great. If you want her to head off to the room by herself, great. We can make that happen. And if there is, for some reason, a tie and no one is able to break the tie by spending fate or anything like that, then I get to decide what happens. What? Yes. And it's going to be horrible for everyone. Don't worry. Excellent.
Good.
So here we go. So what skill are you trying to roll, Theo?
Persuasion that I should be able to take her to the other room.
Great. And what's your persuasion base? What's the number?
3.
Great. And what forks are you trying to roll in there?
One is falsehood.
100%.
Because we are definitely lying that she's getting sicker. 2, the one that is named Read, is that like reading a room?
No, it's literally the ability to read. This is Burning Wheel, sort of like a medieval analog. If you don't have the read skill, then you probably don't know how to read words.
Well, that is fair. Rumor wise, I would throw in there because, well, I am looking for rumors, and this is the one way I get it.
I will accept that. Yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I would absolutely accept that. Yeah.
Okay, and then lastly, being that this is out in the open with Archibald, I'm being straight conspicuous about it.
No, sorry, it's not a room full of people. You're not trying to draw attention to yourself. No. Nice try. That'll come up handy later, but you lost that.
Would you lost that when work though?
No, again, same sort of thing.
Okay.
You need sort of a bigger crowd. A lot of your skills are towards like a bigger crowd. You are better at convincing like a room full of people than like 1 or 2 people. So you're rolling 3 with 2 modifiers, so that's 5 dice. Yep. Let's talk about Edmund. Edmund, what skill are you rolling?
I think it would also be persuasion. And what I want to add into it, here's the sort of logic about this. First of all, this is highly unusual for a noble lady to go into the inn room of a commoner, much less a minstrel, on her own. That is really unseemly. She knows that I know her family. She knows that I know her dad.
Yep.
She knows that I know her sister pretty darn well. So there's extortion implied here as well. I'm going to friggin' tell on you if you go do that.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about like family secrets wise in the sense, and I don't know if this works. This would be like a family scandal. And then what was the other one that I wanted to do? Shoot. Oh, etiquette. Like,
Yep.
I know that this is unseemly.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is, so you're rolling, that's, persuasion is 4, and you've got 3 forks.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're rolling 7 dice.
Okay.
I'm rolling 5.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
If either of you want to spend persona, that can give you an extra die. If either of you want to spend fate, then both of you can choose that after your roll.
Okay. So that's modifier 3, Artha nothing,
If
base
you don't have a
obstacle.
persona, then you don't have to spend a persona on your Artha thing.
Okay.
Base obstacles. For now, base obstacle 0, although it's actually technically higher, but don't worry about that because we're not doing level 1 right now.
Okay. Alrighty.
Oh.
Oh, wow,
Oh.
that went really badly. That is 0 successes on 5 dice. Versus 5 successes on 7 dice. Oh man, I am sorry to tell you this, Minstrel, but you have 100% failed. There is no question about it. 100% of the time, Edmund is going to be accompanying you guys.
Great. And
so you guys are welcome to go to another room. But Edmund and Archibald are staying with you too.
Yep,
So
I am conceding the fact that they're staying with, but I am moving her away from the dead body just to keep up that portion of it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Not to make it completely clear that you were making stuff. Oh, fine.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Yeah, so you guys moved to so sorry, Edmund, are you okay with all of you moving to the minstrel's room, Theo's room? Great. So the 4 of you get up and go into the hall and walk to the minstrel's room. You're all there together. Archibald, what is your goal here? What do you want to have happen?
I'm more interested why. I mean, it's obvious the High Inquisitor. It's don't make judgments off of whim. There's something really going on here, and it's just more curiosity. If this is actually the real deal, he will be part of it, regardless.
So you have a specific job here, right? Your goal is to prove that witchcraft exists. How are you going to make that happen? You've got all these people in a room with a suspected witch. How are you going to prove that she is someone that can cast spells?
Eventually, it's going to have to be direct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're being your character right now seems a little passive to me. So I'm wondering, like, what are you going to do to make, like, you have a belief about this? You were thrown out by the academy, and now you've got to find a way to prove that this woman casts spells. How are you going to do that? What can you do to make that happen? I'm just putting that in your mind to start thinking about it a little bit. From the same logic, let's talk to Edmund. I'm gonna actually do this with everyone right now. Edmund, you have to find a way not just to keep this woman alive, you've got to find a way to clear her of the charges of witchcraft. Right now, there's a room full of people downstairs who are talking about the witch, and it is your future sister-in-law. And if this happens, her family's name is mud. You're not going to be heir to anything, let alone the Duke. So you can't just keep this woman alive. You've got to push the plot forward into how the heck do I prove her innocence?
Do I know anything about, like, how people prove or don't prove witchcraft?
I mean, do you have any skills that say that you would, or traits? Probably skills, more likely.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know how generally known this kind of stuff is. Like, countryside-wise, I probably would know something about superstitions.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Yeah. I mean, ironically, I think that the person who's most equipped to actually determine whether someone is a witch or not is Archibald. Right?
Right.
Archibald.
I don't know that he knows that, right?
No. Well, he said that he was relatively open with it, and you guys have both been common here at the inn. So you might know that he knows something about witchcraft, but Archibald's got, like, rule of law, he's got symbology, he's got history and bureaucracy and things like that. So, he's got, do you have witchcraft-wise? You might have witchcraft-wise. Yeah, you've got witchcraft-wise. So, yeah, so Archibald is the only one here who could actually prove anything, probably. Okay. And let's just jumping ahead. Theo the Minstrel, you're actually doing a pretty good job of pushing for your beliefs. You failed right there, but you're doing a good job of pushing for them at least. Innkeeper. Oh, yeah, sorry.
If you want to finish going through, and then I will.
Yeah. Devin, the innkeeper, right? How are you going to get this witch to cure your wife? Like, that's something that you've got to figure out. You need her to cure your wife, and you need no one to know that it is happening. Right? Those are your beliefs. How do you make that happen? You can't just, you have to move, you have to push past whatever it is that's like the immediate thing that's going on, and instead start thinking about, okay, how do I set up a scene where what I want to happen can happen? How do I frame that scene as being possible?
Oh, the plan is there. The plan is there.
Great. Well, let's check in with you then first. We've had a bunch of other people first, so I'm going to jump in on you if that's okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Devin the innkeeper, tell me what you're doing.
Cool. Now that I've made the food, I'm going to head upstairs. I'm going to head into the room that we were in and kind of just go, it's fine. It's fine. It's probably just moved somewhere. It's fine. I'll go ahead and poke my head around and see whether they're anywhere else that I can see.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you hear voices from inside the room because they're talking.
All right. I'll go ahead and wander over and just knock, open up. Just I made your food. There you go.
Oh, thank you, innkeeper.
It's all right.
Devin, was it? Is that your name?
Devin, yes. Kind of looks down towards her feet and then looks back up and... Okay, I insist. I'm happy to get you food, etc., but we must get you a change of clothes.
Oh, that would be lovely if the things I'm wearing are so tattered.
Wonderful. Excellent. Do you guys want to go ahead and make sure that she's not going to escape this general area? I'll go ahead and take her down and get her a spare change of clothes.
Why does everyone want to be alone with this woman? No.
Edmund, you're not going to stand there and watch me change. That would be highly improper.
No, I'm not going to stand here and watch you change, and I'm also not letting the innkeep take you downstairs.
I mean, if you'd like to go ahead and watch for the patrons, you can head downstairs and stay in the common room. It's fine.
Archibald, do you have any way of helping with this whole witch situation?
All right.
What do you mean, which situation? You know I'm not a...
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I know. Asking him if he knows how to prove that you aren't.
Well, I guess it is time for me to properly say what I am. I actually know quite a bit. I'm quite an expert on it. Yes, but the matter of the fact is, she has to be willing to go through a lot of things to prove or disprove her innocence. But if she is truly a witch, then there are many things we can do with that.
I mean, I'm not a witch. What are you going to do to me? I'll have you know, I am a noble. The daughter of a duke. Baron, whatever. Forgotten.
It matters not in the eyes of the public, whatever you are.
I want to kind of lean over to her and say, it's going to be okay. And I'm going to turn to Devin and I'm just going to be like, hey, why don't we go down? I've got to fill up my ale anyways, but let's go down, let's get the clothes and let's bring him back up. And I want to kind of say, Edmund, can you watch her while we go down and get the clothes and I can get an ale? Is there anything anyone else needs while we're down there? And we can just grab it all at once and bring it up.
This sounds appropriate.
Theo, it's a bit chilly in here. Could you find a coat while you're down there?
Yeah. Of course. We will grab the change of clothes. We'll grab the coat. Does anyone else need anything?
I was going
all
to
right,
bring her down so that she she could choose what she wanted. That's all I was thinking.
Oh, just any change of clothes would be fine, right, Laura?
Yes, I guess that'll be fine. Anything will be fine.
Great.
Devin, did you get that rabbit's foot for me?
Oh, yes. Someone I know was quite into that kind of thing. There you go.
And she takes it and she rubs it 3 times. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, if you must stay here, then I guess I'll go downstairs and get you a change of clothes. It's fine.
Yep.
You're coming with me, right?
Yeah, and I kind of grab him on the back, and we just kind of start going down, to go head towards downstairs.
Kind of irritatingly, just kind
Excellent.
Great.
This leaves Archibald and Edmund together in the room with Lorana.
Archibald, you understand this stuff a lot better than me. How do you prove someone's innocence?
It's very difficult to change the minds of the public. But, however, if she is willing, or you, milady, excuse me, if you are willing to perhaps browse through some supplies and, I don't know, maybe experiment a bit. I mean, from what I've researched, if you are able to use these elements, let's call them, and to your advantage, and if you are a witch, yes, there are other things we can do to prove your innocence. Maybe hide them, even.
Wait, your methodology of proving I'm innocent is to give me a bunch of tools of witchcraft and just see if magic happens?
It's not saying, it's if you even just touch the elements, reactions will happen. The research is solid, I promise.
I'm not certain. Edmund, what if something goes wrong? How do you know this person? Do you trust him? Do you trust what he's proposing here? What if this is just some way for a commoner to lay hands on a noble?
I have no idea how else to prove that you're innocent, and he's someone that people look up to as an authority. I will stay right here.
But what if he's wrong? And what if all of this is wrong? What if this is just some ruse? And
if he's wrong, I'll deal with it. If he's wrong, I'll deal with it.
Shouldn't we just leave? Like, just get out of here? We can go see my sister.
If we leave and we get out of here, they're going to send someone after you. We need to prove that you're innocent to get you out of this situation.
The Inquisitor's dead.
Do you think he's going to be the last one who comes after you?
I don't see why he wouldn't be.
I promise you, they will keep coming. There will be another High Inquisitor after him, and one after him. The only way is to leave now. Don't go to any place that you will be found. And help me. Help me help you.
Yeah, okay. So I think that this is another check here. You've got to convince her that she should do this.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here.
Persuasion is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, let's call it your persuasion. Your persuasion. Your persuasion, absolutely. What are you forking into this, Edmund?
Let's see. Family secrets. Like, she
Absolutely.
understands how family secrets go.
Yep.
I feel like countryside-wise, she should understand how witch hunts go. It's not like, the one guy is done and then you're done.
Nope.
Let's see. I feel like I could make an argument for etiquette. I might be able to make an argument for extortion in the sense that I'm explaining to her how she's going to get extorted if she doesn't do this.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So those are the 3 I can think of. And
we're going to give you a 4th die because obviously Archibald is helping you here.
Yeah. Okay. 4 modifiers. And base obstacle
is 7.
And this feels like something that I should add something into.
If you would like to add something into it, a persona, that would be when it says Artha, put in 1.
Okay, then let me go back. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
4.
You are the bastard, so I will delete a persona for you.
Obstacle 7, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
6 versus 7. But you do have 2 6s in there. So you
Okay.
can spend a fate to explode
Yes.
those 2 6s if you want.
Blow those things up.
Yep. So it's again /roll 2 space 2d6 exclamation point.
Roll space 2d6 exclamation.
That's another success. That makes it 7 on 7. So you succeed in persuading your future sister-in-law into accepting this witchcraft test of Archibald.
Okay.
Very well, learned scholar. Proceed with your testing. And I think right there we're going to cut away and check in on what's going on downstairs. That sound okay? And if there is anything going on downstairs, let's find out if there's anything dramatic going on downstairs. Devin, Thea, what are you guys doing?
So as we're heading downstairs, I want to tell him that, hey, she has asked. Now, she has befriended me. We are very close, much closer than her and Edmund up there. That is overly protective. I know you and I have not always seen eye to eye with my many times here, but she has asked specifically for only you, me, and her in a room. Now, this is my room. I have the key, and you're the innkeeper. If you want, you can throw them out, and she wants to talk to you.
Why would she want to talk to just me? Exactly.
From what I have gathered, being that I like to collect my secrets and tell my tales. As you well know, my recent tales have not been that exciting. They've been kind of boring. She can read into everybody's darkest secrets, and well, that'll help me. But I feel if there is anything that you would like to keep hidden as your darkest secret, you may want to help her too.
Demon's gonna kind of stop Theo on the stairs and turn around and just be like, so she's really what she says she is then?
Oh, well, she says she's not one, but yeah. Yep. So I suggest we go do what we're gonna do, get the coat, get the new clothes, and if you can help me up there, get it so it's just the 3 of us in the room, she will or the 3 of us, take her somewhere where no one else can go. She can help me, she can help you, and we can have this entire thing not blow up. Because, well, I enjoy coming here too, and I would hate to see the business go.
I know a place where she'll be safe. It's fine. I know a place. There might not be room for all of us, but there's definitely a place.
Right.
Good place.
Right. Our hardest thing is Edmund is at least I tried to get Edmund separated and it didn't work. So I don't know if you have any authority over that. Edmund's pretty protective.
I mean, if Edmund's protective, well, the thing is, everyone in town knows who Edmund is. So by sticking with her, Edmund might actually be doing more harm than good, you see? So if we can keep her covered up and keep Edmund away from the situation, then she'll actually be safer than she thinks she is. See?
I think that's great. I also, in some moments, it seems like she is Edmund is there, and I just need to abide by what she wants of you, me, her in a room, and let's hash this out. But we got to get everybody away.
So let's cut that scene there and just say what's your guys' intent here. So Devin, innkeeper, what's your goal? You want to start rumors that Edmund is something to this witch, and that's going to be a problem for him, or what's your goal here?
I would not be that snaky at first. I think I would go ahead and just.
I would.
You would. I would confront Edmund directly and just be kind of like, "Hey, so I know you're being protective, but you might actually be causing more harm for the two of you than good. So let's go ahead and."
So Devin's going to do that. Devin's going to confront Edmund with that information. And Theo, is your intention then to make that information 100% true? By like talking to the people downstairs, like we've got a crowd of people downstairs, so you want to like actually make them riled up about Edmund's relationship with the witch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think that's the role then. Theo the minstrel.
All right.
Yeah. There's a couple different ways you could go with this. Are you gonna do a performance about the relation about Edmund's family consorting with witches, or
I'm just gonna be being that this is a crowd of people, I'm going to be very conspicuous about it and what I know of the relation that she has relayed to me. And, and then add in, fork a little bit of acting in there of, a little acting and a little falsehood in there of, sitting
you're exaggerating.
there. Yep, and I'm creating rumors.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Yep. So
let's roll this.
Conspicuous with rumor, falsehood, and acting, so add 3 to it.
Yeah, let me check conspicuous quickly if there's any difficulty or complication here. Pardon me while I pull this up. I do know these, but it's not doesn't mean I'm perfect.
My intentions were honest, but clearly the minstrel is just going to stir.
Yes. Cool. This is actually going to be pretty easy for you. You're rolling 7 dice, is that right? Your ob is 2.
My conspicuous is 4 plus 3, so 7 dice. And my ob is 2.
Yep.
So I should easily hit this.
I'm going to say something, though, right here. Okay? And this is a warning as for everyone. The more successes you have, the closer you are to a riot.
Great.
Just putting that out there.
I swear to goodness.
See what we got here.
It's not too bad.
You've got 2 6s if you want to spend fate to explode them and get even closer to a riot. Depends on if you think a riot is good for the story, right?
No, I just want to rile them up, and maybe a few of them go confront Edmund, but not like a full-on riot. I don't want a full-on riot because I frequent this place too, and I want this place to still survive.
Sure, it's also cold outside, and there's not really like close places nearby.
Yep.
Yes is the answer to the question that was just asked in chat. 100% yes. There are rules for that, and you'll see how you can actually get rewarded for that too, which is interesting. Okay, and it'll be cool to see that in play. So let's do this thing. So so you start this, and Devin, the innkeep, you get the clothes, you get the coat, and you head back upstairs to deliver it. I think mechanically speaking, it has to take time for you to start these rumors. So you're downstairs setting these rumors, Theo, while Devin heads upstairs.
I'm going table to table to, start rumors.
Great. Yeah. So the innkeeper returns upstairs. What scene does he come into the room on? What are you doing to this poor woman to test for witchcraft? Like, what does she have to do? What does she have to touch? What does it look like? You can make up anything, because we don't know anything about witchcraft in this world. So you can make up anything you want that feels cool.
So I am channeling the spots on her legs
Mm.
that seem to have been affected by one, possibly the plague,
Mm.
and her sensitivity to the arts of witchcraft.
Yeah.
So I am going to pull out a stone, just a simple stone
Mhm.
that I actually have touch on her leg, and it starts to glow
Why does it glow?
because it reacts to a certain aura.
So it's like an aura reading stone.
Yes, and it's just and to him it's just a sensitivity to the arcana.
Okay.
Not necessarily witchcraft, but it's enough to
So
appease
you have, like,
his
this-
curiosity more.
Yes, you have this crystal, and you just sort of touch it on her leg, and it comes back and it's glowing. Is that the idea?
Yes.
What does it mean? Does it mean anything?
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means you are exactly what you are saying you are not. You are indeed a witch, whether you believe it or not.
Which whether she... Okay, we're getting you out of here.
This
We're getting you
man
out
is
of here.
punk.
We're getting you out of here. We're going to figure out how to get you out of here.
Yes, we must leave before this is found out by everyone.
Okay, you want to get her out of here too.
Absolutely. I want to protect this woman. Believe it or not, there are witches of this world, and they can do great things. My research has shown that witches are not evil. In fact, they can do amazing magics. They can do amazing things for the people of this world.
We'll get to that later. I just want her out of this inn. Will you help
Sure.
me?
Absolutely. Let's go.
So you
Okay.
guys
We need to hurry.
head to the door and open the door, and there is the innkeeper with a coat and a dress.
Oh, hi.
Innkeeper, good. Yes. We must leave.
Oh, we were actually just talking about this. So, what we were thinking is, Edmund, I understand that you want to protect her, but we're thinking maybe it's a little too conspicuous for you to be, like, so close to this situation. So I was thinking perhaps taking her somewhere that we can lay low for a little while, and I have the perfect spot. We'll lay low for just a day or a couple of days, and you guys can stay nearby because I know the people who are nearby, just enough for this to blow over, and then we can get her somewhere safe.
Where?
That's what I'm thinking. So,
Yes, what did you have in mind?
I'm the innkeeper.
I'm pulling him into the room and closing the door so we can have this
Yeah, sure,
conversation out in the hallway.
I'm the innkeeper. People know me. I'm not very suspicious. So, I have a spare room attached to my house that I can go ahead. She can stay there. You can stay nearby so that you know 100% that she's okay. But you're also not close enough that people are going to start getting suspicious.
Do I
That's
believe
what I'm
him?
thinking.
Do I trust him?
So let's start first of all. Are you lying, innkeeper? Or are you telling the truth? Let me rephrase that question because that doesn't make sense here. What is your intent here? Your intent is to do what?
To have her in my house for a moment where I can take her to my beloved without having anyone else around. But
Perfect.
also, once that is then dealt with, it's dealt with, and I'm happy to give her back and actually help her get out of here.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
But
This is not a falsehood test. This is a persuasion test. So you are trying to persuade Edmund. Edmund, I think Edmund's the lead here, if that's okay, Archibald. I know that you're sort of involved as well, but I think more or less you can add a helping die to either side, but I don't think it's necessary. Edmund, what is your will?
Is that a number? That's a number,
It's a stat. It's at the top. Yes. It's going to be at the top of the list.
4? That's
Okay.
the number next to the big B, right? So 4?
Yes. Yeah, I can explain what the big B is later, but I didn't want to explain it for this. But it's not going to come up today, so I'm just going to ignore it. So it's 4. So Innkeeper, Devin, you have to roll a persuasion check. You need to get a 4 or better. If you get a 4 or better, then I would say, Edmund, you believe the Innkeeper. The Innkeeper is telling you this. If not, then whether or not you believe the Innkeeper is immaterial, because you don't think that the Innkeeper probably can handle this. That's sort of does that make sense?
Right.
So, Innkeeper, it's a 4. Do you want to say anything else to increase your odds by being able to fork in other skills by saying things? You didn't necessarily know this was going to turn into a roll, so I want to give you an opportunity for that.
I was going to go ahead and add my... let's have a look. Oh dear. I do not have many skills that help me out in this situation.
I see 2 that obviously will help you out on your character sheet if you can find them.
So there's persuasion.
Well, persuasion's the base skill, so that's not helping out.
That's attributes. That's the wrong thing. I can't really use falsehood because I am telling the truth.
Well, let's talk about it. Your intent is actually to be alone with the witch.
Right.
I'm okay with you using falsehood here because that's part of your intent. Right? This sort of is where the game gets a little nuanced. You can fork falsehood into persuasion, and ironically, you can fork persuasion into falsehood sometimes, depending on the circumstance.
It totally makes sense because, I'm suspecting that you all want to use her.
Yep.
Correctly.
Yep.
So
welcome to the Burning Wheel, or the Hot Circle, or the Smoldering Cycle, or whatever you want to call it. So I think you absolutely can fork falsehood. What else do you see that you could potentially fork?
Okay. I guess I'm kind of haggling as well. So I'm kind of like, hey, if we just go ahead and do this part and just kind of wait for a day, and then as soon as that's done, you get your way, kind of thing. So it's a mixture between the...
Yeah, haggling is usually more specifically commerce, but I'm going to actually allow it to slide here because you really are doing like a tit-for-tat thing. Like, I'll take care of her for the day, and then she's your problem tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I'll allow that. Anything else you see?
Not that I can think of.
I see 2 more. One of them you would have to roleplay out, but it's very much there.
That's not going to help. Observation, I don't really see helping. Merchant wise, not really. Cooking, obviously not. If I knew what the soothing one meant, then maybe that one.
So soothing platitudes is, in fact, very great to fork in here. Soothing platitudes is saying inane niceties to someone to calm them down or to make them more easy to deal with.
Oh, okay. It's the whole, look, I know you're fantastic. I know you're protecting who you love.
Yep, exactly.
That's a fantastic thing. But we also need to be practical here.
So now you forked in soothing platitudes. I see 1 more. I know I'm being a little overbearing here. It's to show you how to find these things like that.
I mean, Edmund was my guest for a time.
Yep, 100%. Edmund is guest-wise supplies.
Okay, cool.
So you're rolling persuasion. Persuasion is 2 dice. You've got 4 forks.
Woohoo.
Archibald, do you like this plan?
It is... Yes, it is a temporary solution from what he wants to do, so he will go along with it.
Okay. Are you going along with it, or are you actually helping make it happen?
Helping.
Okay. Make that 5 forks for you. Innkeeper, Devin. Devin, do you have any Artha to spend? Nope. You're out of Artha, so you can't spend any Artha on this. And then your obstacle is 4. Right, Edmund, your will is 4. Is that right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Let me double check that I'm right.
Come on, work with me here, please.
Edmund's will is 4. Yeah, 4.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted again. It's 4.
Yes. Okay, so you get 3 successes. You need 4. You do have 1 6 in there. And if this doesn't work, I'll tell you about a secret additional rule that has been added into the game that we didn't know about before because I didn't think anyone would want to do it. But this is the circumstance where you might want to.
Okay.
So, do you want to spend a fate to explode that 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so /roll space 1d6 exclamation point. That's 4 successes, so we don't need to talk about additional rules. So Edmund, you are willing to go along with this. This is a reasonable plan, right? Okay. You're getting her out of this volatile situation and slightly away from it. So this is actually okay. And the innkeeper's a nice dude.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He seems sincere.
Yeah. So she looks at you, Devin, and says, great. How do we get there? Is there a way there that's not in the common room?
There's There's a back entrance through the kitchen where we usually take the supplies from the market. We can go ahead and we'll need some kind of distraction for a second, but yeah, we can. It's quick enough to quickly sneak past and get out that way, and then we can head to.
Can someone provide a distraction? And she sort of looks at Edmund and Archibald.
What about the one that likes to play music?
We know someone who could.
Okay. Great.
I believe they're downstairs at the moment.
Yeah. And I think at this moment, someone starts pounding on the door. Is the witch in there?
And being that I started this, and me and him kind of came up with the plan together, being that this is a situation that is now getting heated, I'm slipping out of the inn to wait for them to leave the inn.
Nice.
Scoundrel.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, perfect. I love it. Okay, cool. So so someone's just shouting, "Hey, is the witch in there? Edmund, are you having an affair with the witch? Are you summoning demons with your coitus? That's what someone said downstairs."
Do you listen to every stupid thing drunk people say? Is there a window here? Can we get out?
Yeah.
I don't think she'll make it.
It's cold outside.
Not with her
I'm
legs.
not going to throw her out.
I have a
carry her out.
I have a coat. I have new clothes.
So she puts the coat on over her tattered clothes because she hasn't had time to change yet. There's always been people in the room, and so she just sort of puts on this heavy, thick leather coat. That's just sort of what happens. She puts that on. She sort of looks around I don't know. I can't jump from the window. It's on the second story. I mean, it's snowy, but
it's fine. We got you.
No, I'm going to distract him. Get her out while I'm talking to him.
Got it. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
You go first. I'll help her down, and then you can catch her as she comes down. Yeah.
And Archibald just goes out the window.
Okay, great.
Okay, so Archibald, it's freezing cold outside. I need you to make a
perfect
fortitude test, just right off the bat. I'm not going to do combat or wounds just for people who are asking about that. I don't want to do that today. But just make a fortitude test. It's a stat at the top. Yeah, so you are cold, but you're there. You make it down to the ground floor and are able to survive in the cold. And you turn back and you see the innkeeper there. Let's go up to our violent scene. Edmund, so you open the door?
Well, my goal was to distract him and get him downstairs so that they could sneak out not jumping out the window way.
Sure, yeah, that's great.
That's okay.
No, let's do it. That's perfect. We had him jump out the window, but maybe you could just escort him downstairs. So you go and open the door, and there's this burly looking drunk guy, someone that you kind of know but don't know well, someone who's drunk with you before, but whatever. He's just one of the other people in town who drinks, and he's consorting with witches. I hear that your whole family's consorting with witches. Did you get your money through cursing people?
If you come downstairs with me, I'll tell you every dirty little secret that I have. You'll know everyone who has been in my bed. Just come downstairs with me and I'll tell it all.
Yeah, absolutely. You're trying to get him to do something. Manipulation. Do you have... are you telling the truth?
I will tell him all sorts of awful stuff about me if it will get him downstairs and get him to stay there.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Fork in what you want.
Countryside wise for sure.
Yep. This is
Um,
interesting.
family secret wise, like I'm going to
100%.
come up with like whatever
Yep.
I can use that I
Yep.
have to use, starting with the littlest stuff if I
Mhm.
can. Beer wise, because I
Yep.
know how to handle. Well, beer wise or drinking, I don't know which one. Both, baby. I'll drink with him at the same time.
Yeah, well, you're not doing the drinking right now.
Okay.
So I think
So
beer wise.
Okay. What
But
am I
yeah,
on?
it could go either way. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, your ob is this is persuasion, so your ob is as well, and we said 3, so you have to be 3.
Okay. So that's 5 modifiers, I think I said.
We'll call it 4.
Okay.
Um,
I don't count good.
Not that you're going to fail, but if you fail, he's gonna like think that you are trying to cause a distraction and grow like violent.
All right. What's the obstacle you said? How many? 3?
3.
Come on. What? No! I will use what I need to. What do I need to use?
So you've got a fate that you can spend to explode that 6.
Okay.
Do you have any more fates?
Do it.
Yes, you do. There you are. So roll /roll 1d space 1d6 exclamation point. The exclamation point, for those who don't know, roll 20 by the way makes it explode.
1d6. So /roll space 1d6 exclamation point.
Yes.
Okay.
And if this fails, I will do the other roll. Nope, don't need to. Excellent. Cool. So you spend it, and you get him up there, and he like looks at you skeptically. But like I think you like put your arm around his shoulder and start like walking him downstairs, and he just like goes along with it instantly. Tanya sees you as you come down the stairs and like looks concerned. And now there's like this big crowded room. There's and people are definitely like pretty agitated. And I think as you come down the stairs, like this guy was the guy who's brave enough to go up the stairs, but at the bottom of the stairs, there's a lot of people who are like muttering and pointing at you, and like there's a lot of aggression. So this is a tension-filled room at this point.
Do you want to hear the dirt?
Are you telling this to everyone?
Yeah. Do you want to hear the dirt?
Yeah, who is she? Is she a witch? Does she curse us all? Is she the reason that we have a plague? Yeah, tell us everything you know.
All right. I jump on the bar.
Nice.
So that I can hold forth. And I go, let me start by talking to you about the first woman who graced my bed. And then I start telling lots and lots of details. So slowly unraveling it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Believe it or not, you are a bastard. And so you have not been trained in like public behavior and courtliness. You've been trained in etiquette, but mostly like to like know not to offend people. You're not actually like good at public speaking.
Right.
So even though this is a great opportunity for this to happen, you still have to roll conspicuous, which is a skill that you haven't opened.
Okay.
So you're going to add a skill, and that skill is going to be conspicuous. You are going to get the beginner's luck bonus, and you're going to get a situational +1 bonus. That's because the situation is in your favor.
I wrote conspicuous. Oh, there I did a thing. Okay. All right. So what do I do? What do I add to it then?
So you're going to click on it. Oh, sorry. So first of all, conspicuous. It's not will. Probably. Let me check. I should know. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put the wrong thing.
No. It puts will automatically. It puts will automatically. That's its default. You didn't put anything in wrong. I just need to look at what it is. I don't know. I'm sure someone in chat is saying it's such and such, but I don't remember this stuff because I am bad at it. Conspicuous. Will. Oh, it is will. Never mind. Okay. So conspicuous is will. And cool. So you are going to roll. It's
2 modifiers, right?
Yeah, so 2 modifiers, 1 for beginner's luck and then 1 for your advantage die. If you would like to spend a persona, you can get an extra die on this.
Okay.
If you have any personas left, you do.
I don't know if I do I?
You have 1 left.
Okay, so I will. And just to be clear about what my goal here is, so it's 3 modifiers. My goal is to hold them off long enough that she gets out. That's my goal.
Absolutely.
If I get to do more than that, then
that's
great.
what happens.
But
if you succeed, then we get a comical scene where everyone is paying total attention to you while we see the innkeeper and the witch walk out the front door behind them. Right? That's just how that's going to work.
So worth it.
Yeah. So the ob here is going to be 3.
Okay. Additional complications?
No.
Okay.
Nice. 6 on 6. Oh my god. That's exactly what you needed.
Okay.
Oh, that was very scary. Awesome. Yeah, so Edmund jumps on the table and starts like loudly telling like horrendous family secrets about everything. Oh god. My internet's about to go. This is really stupid. Okay, whatever. We're going to see how this works. Okay, so Edmund loudly jumps on the table and starts telling everyone these horrendous secrets about everything. And meanwhile, me too. I was also hoping for the worst. I'm always hoping for the worst. The innkeeper and Lorana like just start like walking down the stairs and like creepily like creeping behind them and like heading to the outside to get around to the front to the house. Our poor scholar Archibald is outside in the snow like waiting to catch her when she's not there anymore. And I think, Archibald, that you see the minstrel like also outside in the snow, sort of looking at you like what's going on. And so Edmund's on the table in the slush room, is outside, and through the front door, the innkeeper and Lorana walk through the front door and into sort of the slush room. Innkeeper, this is your first chance that you've ever been alone with Lorana.
Just kind of waiting and seeing if she says anything. I'm not going to start the conversation. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the initial plan, and then get us out of this current situation, and then go from there. And if she says anything, then I'll respond.
Yeah, so she looks at you and says, "Do I make you uncomfortable?"
Not uncomfortable. You seem like a lovely person. It's fine.
Are you scared?
I'm not going to answer that question.
She sort of sticks out her tongue and licks her lips.
Maybe.
How's your life?
If you're asking me that question, then you already know.
I'm glad that you...
It also means that you already know what I'm going to ask you.
I do. Are you willing to pay the...
For her. Whatever it takes.
I will rid your life of plague. And I will put a blessing on this house so that it never falls silent.
Whatever it takes for her to be okay. I'll do it.
I'll need all the blood. Archibald. And she turns and walks out the door.
The what now? Okay. Just kind of assist, I guess. Just
yeah, you notice immediately that she's walking fine. And she sort of is escorted back by you to her house. She has escaped the situation. Archibald and I don't know. Archibald, let's talk about you. Where are you at right now? Are you still outside with Theo, the minstrel? Like, where are the two of you?
If I see Theo, I would probably encourage him to follow, because surely they're not coming down the window. Something happened.
Mm-hmm.
So either we're going to go through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, we'll probably go through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would suggest that to him.
Okay.
Well, we're on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just going to be like, we can just go around to the front and avoid the massive people on the inside.
Yes, that is the intent. We were trying to get the lady out.
He must have had another way to get her out. So follow me around. we'll find him. And as us coming around, do we see him walking
sure, if you
with
want to.
her?
It does. If you think
Yeah.
that's where you want to have a scene, then
Yeah.
you see the two of them walking.
Um,
He seems to be helping her again.
and I'm just going to be like, all right, let's go help him get her settled. We'll come back for Edmund.
I'm sure Edmund will be fine. Edmund will come when he deems so.
Great. Well, then let's go help him. And so I'm going to be running to catch up.
Great. So you guys all show up to help Edmund. You guys all show up to help Orana. Just out of curiosity, my dear Devin, how do you feel about having someone as B and as the minstrel in your house? You comfortable with that?
I definitely did say, yeah, I definitely would say that I'd go to a house close by and kind of knock, and as they open up, just be like, hi, Devin, I'm calling in a favor. I need a couple of people to stay for the night, please. The inn is full, and my house is currently occupied, so
so you're making an NPC here. You're making an NPC here, right? Cool. Well, let's circles roll this then, just for the sake of circles rolling. By the way, my internet might give out in a second, but I have a backup replacement if it goes out. But if that happens, just bear with me for 1 minute. So let's do a quick circles check while we're here. Let's see, who is this person? 377. Let's ask you some questions about. Figure out who they are. Cool. Okay, circle. So it's just okay. Do you care what their occupation is?
Their occupation doesn't particularly matter in this scenario. I guess farmer,
Great.
something like that.
I mean, it's if you don't care, then there's no added op. So don't caring is the best choice. Do you care what social rank they are?
They would be the same as me.
Great. Do you care if they have any particular disposition, knowledge, or attitude?
Their attitude would be grateful towards me, hopefully, in order to.
So you want someone who owes you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
And this is at home at night, so that would be a usual time and place for that. So great. That means that we're going to call it just another Ob2 circles test.
Lovely.
You are out of persona, and you did not roll a 6, so this is a failure. So I'm going to invoke the enmity clause. This is a neighbor, but the neighbor is unhappy about your existence because they don't like living next to a loud and noisy inn. So they are deeply unhappy with you, always. And so they look at you and say, yeah, well, what are you going to pay me? I don't do favors for you, Devin.
Devin kind of holds on for a second. He kind of looks down, looks around. He's like, 4 days' wages.
Yeah, let's roll a resources check.
Yeah.
To see if you can afford this. This is not going to be super hard for you, though, because you actually have a common income. So this is I guess I should look it up to see what it actually is. Pretty sure it's all 2. Let me check. Resources. Yeah, so op 2 resources check. Okay, so you succeed. Oh, you have a 6 in there. If you want to spend fate to reroll that 6, you can.
Mm-hmm. So /roll space d6 exclamation.
Nice. So you get 3 on this. That's easy, no problem. So you can pay this with no problem. There's no penalty. Had you failed that roll, just so that people know what would happen, had you failed that roll, then you would have been paying more money than you really have, and you would have had to suffer consequences. Your resources number would have actually gone down. You'd be suffering. Okay, cool. So he accepts the deal and takes your agrees to take your coin and puts the people inside. He brings in the witch, Lorana, and anyone else you want to bring in?
Oh, I wanted space for Edmund, Archibald, and...
Got it. So everyone's going to be staying here. Everyone's going to be staying here but you.
And then me and the witch in my spare room in my place.
Got it. So you're hiding out the 3 other people. Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was
giving them
unclear.
space to stay that isn't in the inn, yeah.
Cool. So Theo and Edmund, Theo and Archibald, you are allowed into this place.
I kind of actually, because what I had told Devin was that she needed the 3 of us in a room. I want to lean into him and have a word, because when I originally approached this whole situation when we were going downstairs to get the clothes was to sit there, and I said that she needs me, him, and her in a room, not them 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I also need to be there.
Yes, that's true.
So
how do you feel about that, Devin?
Devin kind of turns around and just, you trust her, right?
Yeah, I trust her. So whatever she needs to do, we need to do this now.
She said she wanted to speak to me first and that she'd talk to you afterwards. That's all I know. I don't really trust her, but you do.
Being that he is trusting in me, trusting in her, I'm going to believe him.
Okay.
And just respond with, did she say anything else?
I believe she was keeping that part for you. She trusts you far more than she trusts me.
All right.
Well, alone, really.
Well,
you know.
you go do your thing. I'll be here if you need anything.
If you do see Edmund coming back, by the way, just make sure that he comes inside as well. I don't want him freezing out in the storm.
All right, great. I will hang, near the front, keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm. And as Devin's about to leave, he takes a look and Archibald, a word real quick.
Yes, anything for you, innkeeper.
Hi. So kind of pulls away from everyone just a little bit. Just she wants me alone, and frankly, I'm not entirely trusting of him, and I'm certainly not entirely trusting of her either. Would you mind accompanying me so that I don't end up getting killed by a possible witch, please?
I think that this has to be... Sorry, let me check in here for a second. Is your intention to, at this point, bring him somewhere with you so that you can kill him?
I'm not killing him. I'm bringing him with the witch. I'm bringing him in with the witch.
Okay. So
if she wants to kill him, she can kill him. I ain't killing him.
That's not what she said. She told you to kill him. But we'll see what that amounts to. Okay, let's let the scene play for another minute here.
What are you exactly afraid of?
Well, if she is a witch, and I walk into the room, and she walks into the room, and there's no one else, I'd rather not end up like the Inquisitor. I like living. It's nice. Rather not die horribly.
I think I'll go along with that.
Okay, great. I don't think there needs to be a role for that at this point. Okay. Edmund. People keep giving you drinks as you're telling stories, so I need you to make a drinking roll.
Awesome.
Yes.
So let's narrate the scene a little bit. What does it feel like? Are your people are giving you drinks? You're sharing stories. How much family secret stuff are you giving away?
I'm trying to make it more me secret stuff than family secret stuff. I'm really trying to, as much as I can, protect other people, but still keep this crowd entertained. I'm definitely at a place of like watching what I had to do to try to get what I wanted. I don't want a reputation. I don't want position on the back of that kind of thing. I just don't. So I've gotten into a screw it kind of place. So I will run roughshod over my reputation, but I'm trying to protect other people as much as I can.
Great. So let's call this a drinking check.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it Ob 4.
Okay.
And the intent here is to be good at distracting these people with these family secrets and gossip and all that stuff without losing your cool and oversharing.
Yep.
Okay? If you fail this role, you are oversharing and you're going to get 2 pieces of reputation. Either one or the other. I don't know. You can actually decide which of these 2 pieces of reputation you want. Either the town drunk becomes a permanent reputation, or you gain a reputation with the nobility as someone who cannot keep their secrets.
I mean, I'm screwed with the nobility anyway, so I'll go with that one.
Sure. Okay. So it's an
I feel like I've definitively picked a side at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're good.
Yeah.
So drinking, and then can I add stuff or no?
Absolutely. What do you want to fork?
Well, I'm trying to both persuade them and also not give it all away. So I feel like persuasion and falsehood kind of go there. And I need to know enough family secrets to know what little ones I can let out. So 100%. Those are like the 3 that I feel like I could.
I see one more that is definitely applicable here.
Countryside wise.
Nope.
No?
No.
Or beer wise?
Yes. You know what beers you can drink better. Yeah. This is literally a drink test. You know what beers are better for you.
That's a really good point. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus drinking. All right. 4. All right. And then how much was the obstacle?
Ob 4.
4. Yay!
I'll take that as a success.
Yes.
4.
Excellent. Yeah. So you're able to keep your cool. People are excited about you. I think that you, in essence, are able to diffuse the tension in the room. Right? There's still a lot of tension in the city, but you have managed to, at least in this room at this point, diffuse the tension. There is no risk of a riot tonight at this point anymore. And while people are still sketchy and uncomfortable, and there's definitely like outliers in the crowd, right? I'm just talking about the general vibe is one of like, yeah, okay, we're going to go to bed. We all have to sleep at the inn tonight anyway, because it's too snowed down to like go out anywhere, really, realistically. So people just sort of start finding places to crash around. Are there any other scenes that people want to have? Or should we call that the end of our story? Is there another dramatic scene to have? I'm really looking down at the innkeeper here.
I don't know. Part of me kind of likes the idea of the innkeeper, the witch, and Archibald going inside, and then no one knows what happened afterwards. Just to be a douchebag about it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I think that's great. So that's gonna be where we're gonna end our story for today. But I do want to go over the reward system because I think it's an important part of the game, and talk about sort of what points you guys earned and how you earned them, and what that means for like further play. If we were to continue on with these characters, we can sort of talk about that. So the first set of points that we're going to earn are for beliefs. So first of all, I think I have the thing set in Roll20. I know I can't do it myself, but I think I have a thing set in Roll20 so that you guys can do it. So if you click on the area where the character sheets are, can you see under Arthur where it says Fate, Persona, and Deeds?
Yes.
Great. You should be able to click and drag those to your character sheet. Or not to your character sheet, to the character place on the front page for yourself. So you can give yourself these rewards, and you can sort of see how many you stacked up over time, over the course of the episode. So first things first. Let's start with Theo the Minstrel.
Yep.
Theo, did you accomplish a belief?
I don't know if I.
Why don't you read a belief to me and tell me?
So the great stories come from great events witnessed by great artists. If no great events will come to me, then I must make them happen.
Mhm.
I helped make them happen tonight.
Mhm.
And I essentially can create stories off of that. But I also have a bigger overarching of I have a connection to make even better stories later.
Absolutely. I strongly believe that you accomplished this. I feel like the drama changed because you were the one who was pushing the drama. So for that you would earn a persona.
Okay.
Okay? So grab a persona and give it to yourself. Just click and drag it over to your character. It's a little spot, not on your character sheet, but on the front page thing.
Yep.
Okay. What was your other belief?
My other belief was many people come through the inn with secrets. I will uncover all the secrets I can and turn them into great tales.
Mhm.
I think I did uncover some secrets, but not all that I could.
Yeah, I agree. So that's what you call working towards a belief rather than accomplishing a belief.
Mhm.
And for that, you will earn a fate.
Okay.
So if you work towards a belief, you could take a fate. If you accomplish a belief, you take a persona. But let's go over all of them for the sake of it. Next up, Devin. What are your beliefs?
So I must find a way to cure my spouse of illness. I found the witch. She's in my house.
Absolutely.
Technically,
Take a
we
persona.
never saw it happen, but hey.
Yeah, I think we accomplished it. It didn't say you had to cure your wife. It said you had to find a way to cure your wife.
Wonderful.
And then what about your other belief?
My spouse is hidden until I find a cure. No one must know she's ill. I must find a way to maintain the secret.
Does anyone know that she's ill?
The witch does.
But that I don't think counts.
Um,
Yeah, so for me, that's a belief. It's really next to impossible to accomplish until your wife is fully cured. So I would call that a fate, right? You work towards it. You work towards maintaining the secret. Had no one questioned you about your wife, had Tanya not asked you about your wife, then you wouldn't have earned a fate for that. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's all based on what... So you earn these things based on what you do. Archibald, what are you about your beliefs?
I basically must prove such forces exist, the witchcraft, and return to prominence the academic community.
Do you think you
So I
accomplished
didn't
that?
Not at all.
I think you work towards it.
Not
so I give you a
not
fate.
in. Yeah, got it.
And what about your other one?
Those who speak without thinking as are fools who should be corrected. Nothing silences the voices of ignorance so thoroughly as evident.
Yeah, did you shut anyone down? Did you like make a point to like I am the authority on this thing?
Probably not the shut down specifically. I think it's a working belief.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could. I think the moment when Edmund said, "Do you know anything about this?" and you said, "Yes, I know things about this." That's you working towards it. So I'd give you a fate for that as well. Make sense? And then let's check in with Edmund on your beliefs.
Alrighty. I will prove the innocence of my betrothed sister. Only then can I secure my place among the nobility. Oh, heck no. I turned my back on that one.
Excellent. Great.
Yes.
You don't get anything for that.
All right.
We'll get to where you get points for that, by the way, but not
That's
yet.
fine. My privileges in the fortunes past can only remain as long as the secret of my father's madness is kept. Any who imply his misfortune must be silenced. No one implied his misfortune.
It's true. I know. It didn't come up. That's partially my fault. One of the people who knows about the misfortune and or madness of your father is the mercenary who is not in today's game.
That makes sense.
So it didn't come up. And then there's this whole potential thing that can happen between the mercenary and the minstrel, where the minstrel's like, "Ooh, do you know secrets?" And he's like, "Well, the king's insane." And then you're like, "What? No!" And then you get mad. Yeah, exactly. So it didn't come up. So again, no fate for that one either. Sorry.
That's okay.
If If it doesn't come up, it doesn't happen. Okay.
Yep.
Next up, we want to look at your instincts. Did anyone have any instincts that not just came into play, but came into a play that elevated the drama, that changed how things go? Look at all three of your instincts and see, did anything that happened because of an instinct of mine, and did that instinct of mine change the drama, right? In any way, shape, or form. Basically, if your instinct led to a roll from anyone, then I would absolutely say that you can get a fate for this. But there's other things that could have happened as well.
No. I specifically transformed my instinct into another one. So,
okay.
like I did the opposite of my instinct in a dramatic way. But
So what was your instinct? We'll go to that.
The one that I went against was when asked directly of a secret, make a joke and find another topic to speak of. And I finally went, this person's life is on the line. I'm telling secrets because that's what's going to work.
Giving up an instinct is immediately worth a fate point. So give yourself a fate point.
Cool. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Inverting an instinct is considered the same thing as adhering to an instinct. Because especially if it creates problems for you. Right? And that is creating problems for you.
Yeah.
Right? That's perfect. I love it. Anyone else have any instincts that caused rolls or just change the story in any way?
Tanya.
I mean, go ahead.
just Tanya existing.
Yeah, I agree. Don't leave the room until take a fate for that. Theo?
Kind of the when the room gets heated, slip out quietly, because I created that situation, but then I also left that situation.
I agree. Take a fate point for that.
Yep.
Strongly agree.
And then also, when something is happening, dig for the details, find the motivations, because I'm digging the entire time.
Take a fate for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any instincts that they feel affected play? The only other one I see, and this is a relatively minor one, and technically I could go either way, but it did literally lead to a roll. Probably the fact that it led to a roll is a little bit of me being a little too D&D in my Burning Wheel. But Innkeeper, you had a thing, lock all doors behind you, and Archibald had to break through a door because of that. So that led to a roll. So that would be a fate point for that. Again, that's a little D&D of me of doing that, but I'm okay with that every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else happy with their instincts? Feel like that's all good?
Yeah.
Excellent. Third thing we can get fate for is traits. Did any of your traits come up and change the narrative, make things more dramatic, heighten things? Does anyone have a trait that's felt particularly significant?
Colorful. I sang the greatest song.
I strongly agree. Take a fate point for that.
I can make an argument for good for nothing because I had no skill that I could contribute at all to helping this woman, except debasing myself in front of everybody.
I strongly agree. If you didn't mention that, I would have mentioned that. Take a fate point for good for nothing.
All right.
I wish I was looking at your character sheets, but I'm not, so I might be missing things. Unfortunately. Anyone else have any traits that they feel like came up or significant in the story?
My exasperated smiling of just great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I would take one fate point for that that was sort of like a couple of different traits that were working in conjunction, but definitely take a fate point for that.
Mm-hmm.
What about Archibald? You have any traits that came up?
Know-it-all.
I agree. Yeah, take a fate point for that.
I'm probably prone to exaggeration, saying how witchcraft could do great things.
That was good.
Absolutely, yeah. Take it. Take that fate point. Next, we have an option for a fate point. This is sort of a minor one, but it comes up sometimes. We are allowed to give out a fate point for anyone at the table who causes the table to break down laughing. This is called the humor fate point. Was any character, and we want to specifically say, for the sake of this is in-game laughter. It's not a meta commentary. It's not like, we're rolling bad tonight and everyone cracks up laughing. No, it's something a character does in the story that makes us all laugh, either in or out of the character.
I think
any character?
The innkeeper made us all laugh like over and over again.
I strongly agree.
Yes.
That seems like an obvious choice. The innkeeper takes the humor point for the session, so take a fate point for that innkeeper. Then we have a thing called right skill, right time. If a character has the right skill when no one else does to keep the story moving, they should be rewarded with a fate point. Consider it a reward for clever character burning. I don't think it came up this session. I don't think there was ever a point where the story was going to stop unless someone did the right thing. So it doesn't come up that often. Okay. Cool. Let's talk on persona points now. The first possible persona points are accomplishing beliefs. We've already discussed that. Working towards belief and accomplishing beliefs. Next up, though, we have a persona point called embodiment. When a player captures the mood of the table perfectly and further drives the story onward, one persona point is awarded. Moments like great speeches, desperate decisions, or gruesome revenge fall into this category. But this is a tough award to get, as the player really must go above and beyond the call. Again, I think not quite this session. I tend to think that like these are some of these are things that we earn like once every 4 or 5 sessions, a little bit rather than every session. But we check in every session just to see if there's something that was worth bringing up. However, the next one, I think we have an obvious person to go to, and I will get to that in 1 second. The next persona point is called Mold Breaker. If a player comes to a point in the story where his beliefs, instincts, and traits conflict with the decision that they must make, a direction in which they must go, and they play out their inner turmoil, the conflict within their own guts, in a believable and engaging manner, then they can earn a persona point. Edmund, please take a persona point.
Yay!
100%.
Agreed.
Technically speaking, this is something that we nominate and then vote for, but I'm just going to nominate and vote for Edmund, and because I know what I'm doing, you win. Shocking. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. Excellent. Next, we have a thing for what we call workhorse. Being the workhorse character, the most relied upon in a given scenario, is worth a persona point. This is for the mundane stuff, having that piece of gear that makes the scene go, having the skill to get the other characters safely through danger, or just generally slaving away behind the scenes to make it all work. Does anyone want to nominate someone for this?
Innkeeper.
You want to nominate the innkeeper? I'm pretty comfortable with that as well.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Excellent.
I was cooking amazingly.
I did have you roll your cooking skill. Do you have cooking skill?
I do. I have 3 in cooking. You should have let me roll.
Well, it has to come up. If you had said like, "Can I cook this to accomplish?" If like you had cooking like, "I want to cook to impress so and so," or "I want to cook and poison so and so," or something like that, then we can roll. And then last but not least, for now at least, MVP. Being voted the most valuable player for a scenario earns a persona point. The MVP is the character who drives the story to its obvious conclusion, the character who shines in the last moments and about whom everyone agrees, damn, that story would not have been the same without them.
I'm just going to go ahead and say the 7 for 7 role of the greatest song in the world is probably...
Whoop, whoop.
That's my nomination.
I was going to throw out the push on my end to get the innkeeper to go along with everything I was saying of this needs to happen.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
yes.
That was awesome. Yeah, I strongly agree. I love it. Theo the Minstrel takes the MVP award for the session. I think that's totally appropriate. So take a persona for that. No one earns a deeds point. Don't worry about it. You never do. I've literally never seen it happen. I've been running Burning Wheel for more than a year. So that gives you a sense of how rare that is. And that's sort of how our reward system works. Now, let's talk about a couple more things just for rules clarification so that we understand how things go. Any beliefs you accomplished, you obviously get to replace with new beliefs. A character typically will have 3 or maybe 4 beliefs, but 4 is like reserved for you have a special belief that you earn from somewhere. So instead of the 2 beliefs that you guys had, you'll typically have 3 beliefs on most characters. And again, as you accomplish it, you get to do more things. Now, one of the things I skipped today because it wasn't worth going over in a one-shot, it never is how skills get better. Okay? Basically, skills get better by using them. You roll skills, and you get better doing it. Whether you succeed or fail doesn't matter. It's that you try to do it. Now, But to do that, well, you need to get a certain number of like easy skill checks, difficult skill checks, and challenging skill checks. If you look at your character sheets, you'll see that they have little circles there for that tell you how many of each type you need to get. Now, here's where things get interesting. An easy skill check is something that you're probably going to pass. A difficult one is one that's less likely to pass, and a challenging is one that's very difficult to pass, based on literally numbers, right? There, I've got a fancy chart in my handy-dandy Sweltering Cycle book, Warm Hoop, and in that book, we can just compare, like, I'm rolling 6 dice, whatever. If you look at the skill checks that you're rolling, in the Roll20, you'll notice that some of them will say difficult, some of them will say easy, some of them will say challenging, on all that stuff. Gives you an idea of those things. But here's the thing that matters a lot. Fate points that you spend, or Artha that you spend, don't contribute to that side of the difficulty check. So it's possible for you to throw a lot of fate on a challenging check, fail, and still still succeed because you're spending those fate points and get that thing. Forking, though, does. So if you have, like, if you need to roll, like, if you've got a 4 in persuasion, and to level up you need a challenging check, that means you need to find like a 6 persuasion check that you have to succeed on 4 dice, but you really want to succeed that persuasion check. So you've got to spend fate to get that without forking to make it too easy for you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Broadly? So that way, there's sort of like the system in place where the more persona and fate you're earning, the more you can feed that into leveling your skills and become, again, a more strong character over time. More strong in this case, meaning more or less capable of accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish.
Nice.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about Burning Wheel or about the game that we just played or anything? I'll answer anything that anyone.
No, but I would definitely be interested in doing this again. That was fun.
I hope that everyone can sort of see. I don't know how many people are watching chat. I don't really care, but I hope that you can sort of see that. Like my whole point of this is that different game systems can encourage different ways of engaging in worlds, right? And they can sort of encourage you to think about the world differently and learn how to be a part of it differently. And that's one of my favorite things about playing games, that different game systems can guide you down different paths. And I think that is great. A Burning Wheel game is always going to feel very different from a Dungeons & Dragons game, which is always going to feel very different than a Zweihander game, which is always going to feel very different than an Apocalypse World game. And it's fun and good to be able to play all these different systems and sort of figure out what you want to do and or say with them. Awesome. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. That was really cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. I'm Matthew Camille. You can find me over on twitch.tv/VanishXZone or twitter.com/VanishXZone, I think. I don't remember. Whatever. I'm around. There's something down there that says something. And I hope you enjoyed.
Let's go around and give everybody a chance to say where they're at, too.
Excellent.
Who's next?
You are.
Great. So I'm Fox, or Arcade Fox. You can find me lots of places, but just look at on Twitter at Arcade Fox with a 0 in Fox, and you can find all my stuff there.
Devin, who's not Devin? I only know your fake names now. God, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Devon's a cool name. I'm Cam. Twitter at BeardedBaymax. You'll usually find me there. I also hang out quite a lot in the FeatherFall chats. You can find me in FeatherFall's Curse of Strahd. A couple of other one-shots here and there. Impulse Drive, which should be becoming a thing, which will be exciting. And then I'm running a one-shot towards the end of April as well, in my own little homebrew world, which should be actually coming out on DM's Guild in the next couple of months.
Ooh,
so
cool.
It's going to be fun. That's me. That's what I do.
Troke.
All right, I am Trope, how you call it, whatever you like. I mostly hang out in Discord and Twitter, and as well as Twitch by the same name. And I usually just dabble in just about anything. All types of systems, master of none. I just like to hang with a bunch of nerds like these.
Jen.
Yeah, I'm Jen. I'm Jen Quixote on Discord, and I'm Quixote Jen on Twitter. QUIXOTEJEN, 1N, not 2. And I'm mostly here on FeatherFall. I am in a weekly game, The Gods We Know, and I'm just so loving all the quality of roleplay there. And then, yeah, like Cam mentioned, we're going to start running Impulse Drive the first Tuesday of each month, and Cam's going to join the Gods We Know group and be part of the Impulse Drive stories. That's going to be really cool. And I've got some one-shots kind of all over the place. I've got a couple on Open for Adventure and all sorts of stuff in the next month and a half. So I'll be around.
That's awesome. And again, I'm Matthew Camille. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch. I've got my own channel, twitch.tv/VanishXZone, where I run role-playing games for cool people, and we have a lot of fun. We're doing a homebrew world right now where all of the games are taking place in the same world at the same time. We've got little letter writing campaigns where the various characters are writing to each other. It's a lot of fun, and it's slowly growing. And yeah, take care.